Hey guys, welcome to Green Bean Fiction. So in today's video we are gonna see, what if Deku became a Primarch in Warhammer 40K? Part 5, Final. This story is Deathwatch of UA by Creed19XX. Before starting, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe the channel if you are new so you won't miss our latest videos. The universe has many horrors yet to throw at us. This is not the end of our struggle. This is just the beginning of our crusade to save humanity. Be faithful. Be strong. Be vigilant. Last words of the Emperor of Mankind before he was interred in the Golden Throne. The battle rages as men of the Imperium come through the webway. The fist to come through were Russ Space Wolves. They charge forwards with their axes swinging and killing Black Legion Marines with ferocity, killing dozen within the first few seconds. Leman Russ rush out the webway, crashing into a group, killing them. Leman Russ. Forward my pack, kill them all, hunt them to the last, let US show them not to mess with family, howls loudly. As they continue to push the left side of the battlefield, the boys of Class 1B began to counterattack with the guard following the wolves. Girato and Tagaru lead the charge, clashing with the traitors with their blade. With the remaining Cadian Kregman that was left being reinforced by more Cadians join coming through the portal. Kosei created air walls thick enough to stop the bolter rounds from hitting everyone as Sen used his quirk, making razor wind, cutting the enemy like butter. Shota got into cover and began to lay down fire to cover his brothers. Each shot never missed, and due to his quirk, each shot went through multiple Black Legion Astartes. Manga creative huge gust of winds to block the shots from the Black Legion Astartes hitting Class and Wolves as Shihai came from their shadows to attack them from behind. More cultist riding war machines came rushing in, but Ares, seeing this, jump on her wolf and lead the Thunderwolf cavalry that just arrived to charge towards them. Rushing, they jump on the vehicles, ripping the drivers and passages to shreds, with Ares finishing one off with a clean stab in the head. As Leman looked to see her do it, he lifts her up, hugging her tightly, making sure she okay and informing Ibarra where she is. Russ. Little pup, what are you doing here? I thank you for leading the men to cover us, but you shouldn't be here. Ari. Hi Uncle Wolfie, I'm fighting for my home like Daddy is. In the message we sent to Grandpa Emperor we said we fight with Daddy, and that's what I'll do. Ari. The Krieg 8th is coming on the right, brother. Coda, the cavalry heading to support the Dark Angels that have just appeared. Russ. Very well little pup, I just told your mother where you are now. Since you're on your pup, lead the Thunderwolves with the Cadians and charge with me little pup. Ari. Yes, Uncle Wolfie, I mean Lord Russ. She regroups the Thunderwolves cavalry and waited for the Cadians to regroup for the charge. Once done, Aerie lead them into battle once more, ready to push back the traitor scum. On the right, the Dark Angels appear, beginning to tear apart the traitor forces. Lionel Johnson comes through the webway looking at his men fighting and kill traitor force. Lionel Johnson. Crush these traitors, send them back to their false gods. The Deathwing and Deathwing Knights move forward with their brothers behind them, covering them. Death was all over, with traitor bodies falling like flies. On the flanks, though, cultists were harassing the Astartes with their vehicles, making them stop for a moment till a thunderous charge was heard from behind. Kregman on their horses charged the vehicles. Alongside them rode Coda, holding a lance of his own, screaming charge. As they rushed towards the vehicles, stabbing their lances on them, watching explode, the Dark Angels renew their attacks, watching the traitor flee. Lion look at his nephew Coda wearing his late uncle mask and hat. For the remaining stragglers, they began to run, but Kendo and her sister began to burn them and eliminate them. Lionel Johnson. Thank you for the assistance, young Coda and Kendo. It will make the push a little easier, and don't worry about your mother. I will inform her right away where you are and I'll protect you, all right? Coda. No problem, Uncle Lion. The cavalry will handle the vehicles and stragglers. We need to push with the Kregmen that are coming, and thanks Uncle. I believe sister helping Russ push the left. Kendo. Sisters are here ready to help. We are already helping with the injuries suffer, and we will keep pushing. Coda. Kriegman move FOWARD, charge the enemy, show no mercy even if it cost your life. Rides FOWARD on his wolf, being follow. Lionel Johnson. Very well, push FOWARD my sons, for Izuku and his men sacrifice. We will not FAULTER. Kendo. Forward sisters, let US help our fellow warbrothers charge. As his men push forward, Rogel was setting up on the walls with half of his men while the other are covering the push in the middle, where Izuku, Bakugo, Tokiyami and Ibarra are. Each one was covering each other, killing while having the Imperial Fist begin their shield walk forward, clearing enemies on the side that try to charge them. Tanks came through the portal, forming in their companies to begin their push. Suddenly large footsteps shook the ground as everyone stopped and looked up, seeing the might war machine of Chaos Titans and Knights move forwards. Moments prior, Abaddon furious on how the battle was turning around against him. Abaddon. This cannot be. Where did they come from? Our demon troops are gone or well. Abaddon. Send in the Titans and Knights to cover our troops to retreat and head back to their areas. Tell them to set up defenses while I try to summon Reinforcements. The Knights and Titans moved forward firing their guns, but luckily the loyal forces dove into the trenches they capture again to dodge the attacks. Izuku ordered his armor forces to open fire on the Titans and Knights, giving them men time to regroup, till he spots in the skies fighters from the ships coming through the clouds. Some went after the Hell Drakes that were trying to attack, while others fired their missiles towards the Titans, destroying their shields before returning to battle the Drakes as a bright light tore through the clouds. Sanguinius crashed into a Titan using his might spear of Telesto to destroy it while screaming into the skies. Sanguinius. Sanguinary Guard destroying these abominations of the Mechanicum. Hundreds of the Sanguinary Guard dropped from the clouds, landing on the Titans and Knights using attaching melta bombs on their weapon and limbs before jumping off, destroying some and damaging others. As the damaged one rise once again preparing to fire their volcanic guns, they were destroyed by a blast from the Emperor personal side Titans that just arrived. As the traitors saw their mighty machines destroy, they run for their lives trying to get past the gate. The ones that were near the gate were able to get through, but suddenly drop pods descended from the sky, landed on top and near the wall. Black Raven, Mantis Warriors, Night Lord, Alpha Legion pops out the pods and they begin to kill the ones stuck. On the walls Nova Marines, Howling Griffins, Salamanders and Black Dragons burn and kill the ones on the walls, throwing them over. As Abaddon witness it all furious, he goes back to the Emperor Palace to do a ritual. As it finally calms after hours, the walls were being rebuilt quickly to the Mechanicum and its resources. They brow men were being browed down from the ships as Eri and Kota, bloody but not injured, help organize the forces that are coming through the webway, talking to the commissar of the regiments to make sure they are ready to move out. Izuku went to check on everyone, especially Reiko, as she was holding so many webways open. She was resting, exhausted from what she did, but she let out a little smile before sleeping. Magnus informed Izuku that she just needs a day or two rest, she will be ready, but he proud of her for holding so many webways open. Izuku nods and was also proud as he continues to do his rounds before he sees his father and kneels to him. Izuku. Father, you have come, I thank you for coming, in my time of aid. Emperor of Mankind. I told you, my son, I would not let you fall or your home. The might of the Imperium is here for you, my boy. Now we shall take back your home country and eliminate all heretics. Izuku. Indeed, we will, father, and you should be proud. The men that died these few months never gave up fighting for you or my home. Even Kota and Eri fought, and look at them, points to them. Izuku. Organizing the troops ready to lead them. Even Hina join our cause, she is helping with taking care of the injured like sister of battle. Emperor of Mankind. Indeed, but now the might of the Imperium is here and our allies the Tau and Eldar as well. My son, you and Angron will lead this war. As Izuku nodded, and the Astartes, Militarum forces getting ready, Tau and Eldar forces ready to hear from him and Angron to figure out their plan. Gathering near a destroy bunker, everyone was ready to hear what Angron and Izuku had planned. Angron. We will split our forces in three to attack in three directions. Brother Lion take the 8th, 9th, 11th Krieg Regiment. Howling Griffins. Lamenter. Celestial Lions. Other legions from Brother Gilliman with part of the Tau, Kroot and Eldari force will head west towards the Kyushu region. Angron. Mantis Warriors, Black Raven and Alpha Legion scouts are already making their way, scouting out the area at this moment. Sister of the Lady of the Martyred, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th Mechanicum will join as well, ready to treat the wounded guardsmen and repair vehicles as well. Angron. Once you capture all of Kansai region, you will need to split your force up once more to take over the island of Shikoku. Angron. I would ask the Tau forces to lead that advance due to you having craft that can get you to that island. Izuku. You won't be alone. Elysian drop troopers are already making drops onto the island to make sure your landings will be smooth. Also a company of the Salamanders will join to burn a path for you. Izuku. Once the island is captured and the rest of the force captures Chugoku, both will launch the invasion of Kyushu. it will be tough battle from the way we have to attack but all the battles cost us. Lion L. Johnson. Very well Brother Angron and Izuku, Commander Shadowsoon, would your Tau forces like to join my legion and the others on this task? Shadowsoon. Very well Lord Lion, let us clear the enemy for the greater good and to honor our alliance. Avrain. Farseer Tyleal, take some of our forces and provide them support, carry our men across and set up webways once we begin the invasion. Tyleal. It will be done my lady, bowing to her. Angron. Good, now for the second, advance it towards the region of Hokkaido. Russ, this will be you and your wolf's task. Angron. The 1st, 5th, 12th Cadian force with the Valhalla Ice Warriors will join you, followed by some of the chapters Brother Gilliman sent. Angron. Fire Angels, Emperor's Spears, Silver Skulls, Imperious Reavers, and Doom Eagles will help Brother Russ push through, with another part of the Tau and Aeldari forces. The Mechanicum and Sister of the Argent Shroud will join you on Izuku. Tohoku region is full of hills and forest areas, so be cautious of traps. You will have to split your force in two to take over both sides of the region. Once completed, Hokkaido will have to be next. Izuku. Invading an island like this will be tough due to its natural barriers and also the harsh winter. Russ, you will have to lead the Valhalla Winter Guard and your sons alone in there. Tau and Aeldari forces will provide transport and supplies, but the harsh winter is soon to approach. Commander Farsight. Shiso Aralai, lead your forces with him, show the enemy no mercy. Shiso Aralai. Yes, Commander Farsight. Avrain. Sinbul Breen, lead your forces with them, make sure the enemy is completely destroyed. Sinbul Breen. Yes, Lady Avrain. Russ. Very well, a winter battle front, this is our specialty, we shall enjoy this hunt, we shall slaughter them all. And going without me, dear, when you invited me out here for battle. Russ. Ah, Hilda, you have come to join me and my sons in glorious battle. Izuku, this is Hilda, someone I've met during my time in Scandinavia. Hilda. Russ has told me about you, and he asked me to come to join the fight. As for my quirk, let it be a surprise for the enemy. Izuku. Thank you for joining us, Hilda, please keep my brother safe, sometimes his battle lust gets to him, but now with you and Lion task set, prepare your forces. Gilliman. I'm guessing that means the main fortress will be attacked by you and Brother Angron. Angron. Yes, we will take what forces we both have left and attack the area known as Kanto. Tokyo is where he mostly at and it's heavily defended. We will attack in two directions. When we enter Izuku, will head on straight path towards as I circle around from the south. Angron. From reports it seems Abaddon is preparing a ritual to bring in his brothers, meaning the Death Guard. Emperor children and World Eaters might be joining in the fight, and meaning our traitor brothers may join them as well. Izuku. This will put a lot of pressure on everyone, and if our traitor brothers are here, it will be dangerous battles ahead. We will have to work together to face each of them. Izuku. But if what father had told you guys is right, we will have the best units available to help, but it might not be enough. I need a Vox box. As a Mechanicum serf came towards Izuku setting up the communications to Mars, as it was pick up the Vox show, the great Belisarius call has answer the call. In the background the machine spirit makes the machines of Mar production increase to help in the war effort. Belisarius call. Lord Izuku, I am here on Mars working your production to its highest in order to reinforce everyone, but that isn't the reason you are calling, huh? Izuku. It isn't, my friend. Head west of where you are, they will be two guards, their code word is Hina. They will lead you in once their type on the screen midnight. Belisarius follow Izuku orders, walking and checking the productions of the machine spirit. He sees a door with two Cataphren battle servitors aiming their weapons towards him till he said Hina. They drop their weapon, opening the door as one lead him deep into the mysterious chambers. On the Vox everyone was looking of where Call was heading to till he stops at a platform with a computer on it. Typing the words midnight, the lights turn on through the whole chamber, showing tubes with Sons of the Deathwatch in them but not with the colors of them. Call looking saw Death Guard, Emperor children, Iron Warriors and finally Lunar Wolves. The machine activates as they are being released slowly from their tubes, getting in line and marching towards a webway entrance. Belisarius. Izuku, what is this? Izuku. Reinforcements ready for vengeance. Izuku. These are sons of those who we saved that time on Istvan 3. Some went with different legions, others stood with me, but we kept them in secret except for those that wanted to be open in the field with their colors. Izuku. These Primaris Marines are from the descendants of the original Marines that we saved during the Istvan III massacre. They've been ready for the day to get vengeance on the Black Legion. Web ways open from Mars and they begin to march out wearing their colors. The Death Guard go with Russ forces as Emperor's children go with the Lion's forces. The Iron Warriors split their siege terminators and dreadnoughts evenly between the three forces, ready to take the punishment to tear down walls. Izuku orders the Solar Auxiliary to do the same, split evenly between everyone, as he didn't want to leave anyone without experienced troops. Few hours passed as everyone was finally prepared to move out. Abara look at Eri and Kota, telling them stay near their uncles and do them proud, leading the men. The Emperor came to them, kneeling them, giving them his blessings for fighting in this war. The Sisters of the Bloody Rose join Izuku, but the girls decided to split off. Kendo, Setsuna and Yui would go with Johnson forces, as Kanoko and Pony going with Russ group. Abara and Reiko would stay with Izuku to help him. As everyone did their last checks, the gates were open and the battle for Japan as all force began their march towards their locations. Russ forces. As Russ and his forces all reached the Tohoku borders, Russ and the other commanders came up with a plan. Commander Shoss will take the western route to head north with his forces. One of the regiments of Krieg, one company of his Wolves companies and a squad of Wolf Riders will join his push, while he takes eastern route and head north for there with the rest of the units. Izuku said bombers are en route to bombard the areas before we charge in to try to soften them up, but we have to be careful due to the terrain. Ambushes could happen. Shoss has informed Lord Russ ahead of the push he had sent some stealth suits in. They have marked multiple enemy ambush positions. Russ looks at it and notices multiple citadels that need to be taken so they don't get attacked from behind. Though these people are cultists, they don't know if their Black Legion or demons are with them, till another stealth squad came back showing them more pictures showing they were there. Russ and Shoss had to come up with an idea on how to break them. That was until one of the Iron Warriors came up to them. Zephyrus. My lord, I am Zephyrus of the Iron Warriors. Me and my men can take on the citadels to give your forces chance to take it over. Our forces have new shielded void armor. We will take everything they sent at us. Russ. Are you sure? I know you have returned to serve the Emperor once more and seek vengeance against your traitor brothers, but we could not lose legendary warriors or yourselves. Zephyrus. We must regain what honor we, the true sons of the Emperor, have left. These traitors deserve the death that is coming to them. Russ. Very well, but you will not go alone. Silver Skulls will join you as well as Commander Shoss. Can you provide them with any spare units to help them? Shoss. Indeed, got the perfect thing to help them with these sieges. A group of Pathfinders are move up to the Steel Legion warriors as loud footsteps come up behind them. 5KX-139 to Unar Supremacy armor suits came in, carrying their Pulse Ordnance multi-driver cannons on their back. Behind them came 5KV-128 Storm Surges with their massive rail guns, multi-rocket pods ready to bring destruction. Aeldari forces brow up some fire dragons to go with the Iron Warriors to help them breach the walls and deal with any fortifications that try to attack them. Zephyrus thanked them for the assistance and for the battle plan for the first citadel that they will encounter, as he turns to everyone and said one thing. Zephyrus. Lord Russ, we would like to be known as a different name. Like the scythes of the Emperor who came into the world thanks to one Iron Warrior known as Barabbas Danchich, we shall honor his legacy in our legends. Zephyrus. We shall be known as the sons of Danchich. We will honor him and his legacy for his last stand against the traitor during the heresy. Russ. Very well, Zephyrus, lead the sons of Danchich to victory. As he bows to Russ, the invasion began. As they cross into Tohoku, they were met with little resistance in the crossing. Separating their armies, they began to push forward towards the objective. Days passed as they continue their push towards the top of Tohoku. The Cultist and Black Legion do their best to stop, but they are being pushed too much by the Wolf's ferocity and the firepower of the Tau rail guns, and the Eldar sneak attacks. In the forest areas they try to ambush the Imperium forces, but the Kroot ambush them from the top of the trees, killing them and eating them to adapt to them. As they made it to the first citadel blocking their path, Zephyrus stepped forward with his brothers. They got the info from the Pathfinders that snuck into it, the citadel where the heavy targets are at. The Tau heavy walkers set up their positions with the storm surges firing their rockets. The explosions hit the important targets as the citadel was in disarray, the Pathfinders inside firing marks onto more locations as they threw smoke to retreat. The heavy guns that were working started to aim near the gate till huge blast hit them, destroying them. the KX-139 were using their heavy rail guns hitting the towers and clearing out the enemy in those locations as well. The survivors Black Legion Astartes and Cultist all gather on the wall as more rockets in the citadel. The tanks they had drove out through the gates ready to defend it. Loud footsteps were heard coming up to it. Siege dreadnoughts walk forward firing their guns towards the enemy on the wall, killing them as Tyrant Siege Terminators follow behind shooting their rockets at them as well. As the dreadnought reach the gate, he reaches into the slits, ripping it apart and opening it for his other brothers to walk in. Black Legion warriors rush to try to stop them, but more Siege Terminators join as with thunder claws slashing into them, cutting them into pieces while barely taking damage. Hours passed as the citadel was made into a forward base. As the armies continue their push killing the forces of chaos, they agree to meet on the outskirts of Aomori port. This is where they will commit the crossing into Hokkaido. Days passed as thousands of cultish are dead, hundreds of Chaos Marines lie on the ground and multiple citadels lay in ruin. Finally rejoining near Aomori, they look, the city has been turned into a mighty fortress, multiple layers. As some scouts from the Alpha Legion came to their camp, they show on a vox on where the guns, tanks, artillery pieces were. Looking at a map of the area, they decided to split the push on 3 sides. Russ and the Imperium forces will attack straight in the middle from where the Sea Roadway 103. At a certain point they will place their artillery pieces on suitable ledges on Mt. Sakeyama to cover their advance. The battle sister of Argent will be led by Kanoko, will join the push before they split and take another path towards the port. Eri was assigned to deal with scouts that were looking for them as she rode off with some wolf riders and Kroots who began to travel through the trees. Russ. Eri, you be careful out there, cause I'm not afraid of fighting, I'm more afraid of your mother who would kill me if she knew I was letting you do this. Eri. I'll be careful, Uncle Wolfie, promise. Shoss informs Russ they will take the right flank coming from Mt. Totoriyama. They will leave some artillery pieces there to provide support for their push. Fire Angels, Emperor's Spears will join them on that side as well. 1 regiment of the Cadians will join them as well. On the left flank Sinbal Breen will head near Mt. Tozawa Mori where they will begin their push. Some Imperial artillery pieces will join them to provide them cover. Once all plans and preparations were ready, they began to move. In the wooden areas enemies were trying to find the loyalists, but they were being killed one by one. Eri rode her wolf through, killing anyone that tried to run. Felclaw. Young mistress, we have clear most of the enemy scouts here, we are still searching for more. Eri. Okay Sirham, we should check that ridge over there. As they did, they saw a small ambush force. Felclaw said nice job to Eri for finding them as the riders all joined with Eren leading the charge, massacring the ambush forces. The one that tried to escape were killed by Kroot forces above as they were dove upon. Once they clear the area, they informed Lord Russ to prepare for the attack. A day pass, all forces are in their position. Bombers are making their way to Ross' location. As a flare went into the sky, all artillery began their barrage. Basilisk made the ground shook with ferocity as the impacts from the shells were hitting the areas hard. Hundreds of Chaos forces were being decimated by the barrage as they rushed toward the walls to meet the enemy, but rushing to cover as bombers let their payload out, scatter bombs hitting the cultists and the Chaos Marines that joined them. Basically, what the Basilisk are firing like destroying the enemy positions. What the bombers are doing to the city. Russ, seeing the scene, took out his war axe, lifting it in the sky and yelling in the vox. Russ. FOWARD, everyone kill everyone, you see, no mercy to these traitors, no mercy to the betray, end them all, charge. All forces move as the survivors of the bombing run and barrage attack. Chaos Marines ran towards the wolves as the cultists did their best to find position to provide fire. Russ charged, slashing his axe, killing 3 Chaos Marines at once while his sons started slashing and crashing into the lines. Guardsmen ran and jumped on a few that tried to attack from behind, killing them before firing their guns on the cultist. Days of battle passed, thousands of guardsmen lie dead, some Tau and Eldar forces as well. The sacrifice was high, but they had captured the port and was preparing to invade Hokkaido. More reinforcement had arrived due to the Emperor as Thunderhawks landed ready to take men over in the sky, though a massive storm appears over the island. A Vox message came through to Russ as the Eldar that had prepared webways were under attack by none other than the Death Guard. Hearing this, Russ was about to inform Izuku till drop pods were dropping from the sky heading towards the island as they saw the pods open midair as Space Marines with wings came out crashing into the Death Guard forces, killing them. Russ called Izuku, wondering who they and what chapter were they were from. Russ. Izuku. Who are these space marines crashing into the Death Guard, seeing one shoot fire from his mask burning one. Izuku. Rodan chapter has landed there. They were a chapter made by Call during the curse founding. They are a deep space marine chapter like the Carcharodons, only ones to go outside our galaxy and return alive. As Russ' first landing force enter through the webway to help the Eldar, they see the Rodan chapter killing the Death Guard with ease, spraying them with fire from their improved flamers and using their own personal flames. As the area was clear, more troops came through the webway charging into Hakodate, killing more Death Guard, cultists and supporters of them. Hours passed and they finally clear the city as they Eri and the other commissars began to organize the forces, execute traitors and cowards and bring up their morale. As Russ looked towards one of the hills, he saw the one that lead this disgusting legion, his former brother Mortarion with his right hand Typhus looking down on them. Russ knew this battle might be his last, but he put on a smile knowing that him and his sons will have the best battle. Lion forces. On Lion L. Johnson's side it was the same as Russ. Citadels cover areas where his Iron Warrior siege terminators took over the citadels as the Combined forces took over the city of Osaka. Splitting their forces, Lion gave control to one part to Kota. Him and his riders will lead to attack from Tottori to Nagato, then head south to attack Shimonoseki. He will take some company of salamanders and some of the other chapters that help as well to help him push through. Lion will take his part of the forces and chapters supporting him. His forces will start from Kobe, travel to Onamichi to separate his forces once more to reinforce the Tau to take over the island and join them in their sea invasion of Kyushu. Together all forces will push together towards the island. Everyone had agreed as they had begun the plan. Kota rush away with his men as Commissar Yarrick join him to guide him and teach him as his uncle would. As they reach the first town, they saw the cultist retreating, which made the cautious, specialized units scan, seeing they had placed high-level explosive to try to kill them. Luckily, they were able to disable them. Kota impress Yarrick with his caution as for they continue their push towards their objective, the battles along the way supporting the Iron Legion siege terminators with their forces. Many times the cultists tried to ambush them, but thanks to the crew traveling through the forest killing them, they were never caught out. Meanwhile, back in Osaka, Tau forces began their boarding on the Orca ships carrying them across. The Tau is heading across the ocean towards the town of Tokushima, where they will split their force in two to attack the island. As they approach the beach, massive explosives went out as an Imperium flag went up. Aizawa, smoking a cig, saw the Tau landed, giving a nod to Shadow. Soon as they plan get ready for their advance in the island separating, they began to travel through the forest. The Katachan forces joined them, using this their training with the Kroot to help them through the island. Days have passed as all forces were doing well. The island was almost complete, taken with just the town of Iwajima. Aizawa men were attacking from the north after being reinforced by Howling Griffins. The Tau and their Kroot allies were attacking from the south as they cultist and what few Chaos Warriors were being massacred as they tried to defend what part of the port they have left, but they couldn't and was decimated. Days passed as all forces were ready to attack the island of Kyushu. Kota made sure that the Kriegsmen were ready to go into the island. As bombers hit the entrance areas to soften up the area, the Kriegsmen lead by Kota attacking from Shimonoseki transport ships carrying them towards the dock parts of Tobataku, being fire upon the shore defensive. The men inside the transports were ready. With the door lower, the 11th Regiment of Kregmen charged, taking heavy machine gun fire, dying left and right but not stopping as more bombers fly over, dropping accurate hits, making it easier. Please start at 0:15 to give you the best visual tie. As they push into the city, they aim their guns at the corrupted Chaos Marines. The traitor forces got in position to fire their sound weapons as they did. Men in white armor, purple and gold appear in front of the guardsmen, using shields to deflect the sounds from the guns. Captain Badran Akut. Guardsmen, stay behind us and push. The Sons of the Phoenix will protect you from their sounds weapons. As they form a shield wall, creating a force field to protect the guardsmen as they push forward through the city. Jump troops of the Loyalist Emperor children jump upon the traitors and killed them with efficiency. Looking at their fellow brothers, they nod at each other as they continue to push through the traitor forces. Just then, just as in what Lord Russ saw a huge chaos storm appear over the island. Purple hue was all over, meaning one thing: the forces of Slanesh and the Emperor children have arrived. The Lion, seeing this, reported to Izuku before he led his forces with Kota to begin the battle for the island of Kyushu, but also noticing someone coming through as well, his former brother, the Snake of the Emperor children, Fulgrin. Tau Force along with the Elysian drop troopers landed near Oita, Japan, ready to push in from their side and ready to fight with the Astral Claws, and some members of the Mantis Warriors and Lamenters joined them. Preparing to move through the island, they got the world from Lion about the situation, and they know they must more cautious. The war for Kyushu now begins. Izuku Force. While the other two forces in from and call Izuku about the portal's openings on his journey, they heavy defensive of the traitors were not stopping his or his men. Titans from the house of Yagi were decimating the defensive, making it easier for the sons and daughters of the Imperium to push through. Lives were lost, many injured, but the sister hospitalier were there making sure the injured were still able to fight. Hina was rushing around with her mother making sure all the sisters were with supplies as well, making sure the medics weren't overdoing themselves. Izuku. Brother Angron, we are going down the path to Chikuma. From there I believe we should be able to split our forces together. I can head to the east to Ueda and continue the push from there. Izuku. While you head towards Matsumoto and follow this route, it will head you to a town known as Kanagawa. From that direction you can use the hills to set up artillery and bombarded them. Angron. Very well brother, how should we split the forces up to? Look out. Angron quickly acted, blocking a throw axe with his blade. Looking at the direction where it was thrown, he grabs a random pipe on the ground, throwing it towards the location, piercing the person that threw it. As Angron rushed towards the person, he saw it was a World Eater's, grabbing him. Angron. What is a disgrace like you doing here? Who sent you? World Eater. The one that now leads us sent me to tell you to come face him in battle with your pathetic new legion that you call your sons. World Eater. Cause they will never be your sons, they are failures of what your sons really are, failures of. Before he could finish, Angron snapped his neck, killing him as he asks Grimaldus. When they reach the outskirts of Kanagawa, they will separate. He will continue the attack while he goes and clears out the World Eater's legion. Grimaldus understood why he wanted to do it, but he asks him to take some solar auxilia with you to help fight these traitors, these heretics, let them fight with you. Angron agree as Izuku and him charge and capture the town of Chikuma, killing all those that supported the Chaos Forces. After a day to rest, they began to move to the area of Tokyo. Angron moving quickly through the Chaos Force, killing thousands along the way, capturing the city of Numazu. As the troops rest and get reinforced by a division of Krieg Cadians, Angron look at the progress his force made. Leaving to survey the area by a hill, he spots the defenses towards Tokyo and plans his advance. But turning towards his rear, he spots the World Eater's banner with the one man leading the legion, the one man he once considered his brother. Angron. Karn is here. Angron. Me and my legion with the solar auxilia will fight him alone. The plan continues. Grimaldus take the next town and support Lord Izuku in the push towards Tokyo and help him end this war. Angron. I don't know if I will return from this battle, so give my last words to Izuku. Thank you for giving me a second chance to show who I could have become, to prove my worth to the Imperium. Grimaldus. I will, my lord, but you will not be left alone in this battle, for I have someone coming to help you in this battle. Grimaldus. You will return, Lord Angron. You and your legion have done so much in the Imperium. May the God Emperor watch you, Lord Angron. As Grimaldus gathered the forces to move upon the town of Odawara, Angron and Solar Auxilia began their march south, following the path the road towards the town of Izu. Seeing the area full of corpses from the guardsmen that defended the area for evacuations, their bodies mutilated for rituals, upsetting Angron. Getting closer towards the town, he sees it in ruin, building destroyed, civilians killed and mutilated as well as guardsmen. He asks Awase, who decided to join him, to pray for this man and cleanse them of the chaos. Entering an opening in the area, they saw them, the World Eaters, the Chaos Forces, but they were different. Angron can tell they had demons in them controlling them. As Karn stepped forward, he looks at his Primarch, the one he used to call Father. Anger boil in him, the nails were digging into him, wanting him to attack. Karn. Look who it is. Our disgrace of a father has shown himself to us, with a new legion, pathetic in name as they are in battle. Karn. We the World Eaters, your true sons that you left behind, betray so you can return to the walking corpse and be his slave. You are no warrior. Angron. No, Karn, you and that legion were never my sons. You were never meant to be my sons, all disgrace to the Emperor and to me. Angron. My real sons and daughters are here fighting for the Emperor, fighting back the tide of chaos, when I was consumed by it, but now, I am free and got a second chance to do what's right. Taking out his new swords, he holds it up as his men got into formation, taking out axes, swords and chain swords, pistol bolters in their other hands, the solar auxilia putting bayonet on their guns. Karn, seeing this, took out his axe, gore child pointing to his former father as he starts charging towards him. The world eaters possessed by demons follow. Angron puts the device on the ground that Grimaldus gave him as he told everyone to charge, both force charging towards each other, ready to clash axe and blade in the fields of Izu. Izuku Force. Izuku forces tore through the traitors and cultists in his journey to the capital. The forces with him never falter, never gave up, and kept pushing themselves to the brink to make sure vengeance was served for each guardsman that dropped, for each son of the Death Watch kill. They made them suffer tenfold. As they took the area of Kawago and spread each of their location, they found out part of the forces that was with Rust came back after securing them area and had pushed to capture towns around Tokyo. Now with all sides surrounded, they began to dig in for the long siege as reinforcements were sent by the Emperor through a web way. Magnus and his son came through with Reiko. Fully recover, she was ready to fight with Izuku and the others to help him take back the capital. Grimaldus had informed Izuku about what is happening with Angron and his forces as they are holding off Karn. The Emperor, hearing this, ordered half of the custodies he brought with him to take shuttles over there to provide support while the rest moved to Izuku. As they rushed toward the shuttles, Izuku asked his a small unit of jump pack intercessor to head there quickly as they began to jump toward the location. Izuku, turning around, look on toward the massive fortress citadel Abaddon has made. It was not going to be easy. This will take careful planning and use of all forces available to do this attack. Coordinating with all the forces available, they began to set up for the siege as the skies darkened from whatever Abaddon is doing, making them all move with haste to begin the barrage. Hearing loud stomps, the titans of the House of All Might arrive, separating themselves behind them, two side titans ready for battle. Izuku look at all his forces, bloody tired from the battles, but they had line up against the trenches waiting for the signal. Titans locked themselves in, preparing their missiles as the artillery trooper came in with a report that all guns on all lines were ready. As he looked into the sky, thousands of bombers began their flyover into the city, dropping their payloads to soften up targets. The explosions being heard, the ground shaking from how important targets were hot, perfectly went off. Taking out his halberd, he raised it up before pointing it forward towards the citadel. The volcano cannons from Titans opened fire, hitting the walls of the citadels, cracking the walls. Artillery began to fire the siege weapons, accurate hits hitting the cultist behind the walls and hitting the walls itself. Abaddon Pav, sitting on the spire he made in the city, hearing what's been happening on all fronts made him furious. Seeing how all the lines were crumbling and how seeing his citadel being bombarded from all fronts. He grows furious as he put the citadel on high alert before leaving the command room. Heading to a part of the citadel where the Dark Mechanicus doing their rituals, infusion demons with machines to rush them out. He kills ones to get the attention of the others as he wants to know where are his mighty war machines. One came to inform him they needed more items. The demons that have been coming through the warp aren't enough, he needs to bring more. Furious, he kills another one, saying get my pets to the line, now turning around to head back to the command center. As the Dark Mechanicus does their rituals to bring out all the knights and titans they had available. Pressing a button, he unleashes servitors from the capture civilians, forcing them to rush towards the walls and battle lines. Abaddon, making it back to his command room, saw two people there waiting for him. As they kneel, he looks at them, asking are they ready for revenge on the people that took their lives away. Abaddon, Ryako, Rocklock, head to battle, crush these weaklings and kill them. You have been reborn as chaos demons. Ryako, crush my former interns, I'll make sure to kill her in front of her fiancé, flying off towards the front. Rock Lee, I will lock them in place for our men to kill these traitors. Remember, you will give Japan back to the commission. Walking away, puss growing all over. Abaddon laugh in the command room, knowing that this will finally be the battle he will win. As he prepares his armor and sword, he begins to march with what is left of the Black Legion Terminators ready for the slaughter. One battle to rule the world, one battle to end it all. Izuku with his family against the forces of chaos. Who will be left in the outcome of Japan? Find out on the next chapter of Deathwatch of UA. Bloody battlefields are all over Japan, the scene of machinery destroyed in battle. The harsh smoke of death and decay are in the air, setting the reality of things. Only one thing was known: this was the battle that everyone would remember for the rest of their lives. Lehman Russ forces continue to hold and push slowly against the tide of the Plague Marines from the Death Guard. It was thanks to the Rodan chapter burning them with their Enhank-Imi flamers and personal fire breaths. As some fly above hitting their plague siege weapons from their rear, it still was troubling, but they were being destroyed one by one from artillery barrages and bombers, but it was hardly enough to stop the flow of the plague bearer. Mortarion, watching from afar, knew his brother Russ would act on instinct instead of strategy due to him defeating him before. Lehman Russ battlefield. As for Russ, he was doing his best to hold back a charge his sons fighting and dying slowly by numbers. Even with the Astra Militarum help and the sisters, he was still being pushed back. Just then Kanoko looked at Pony, giving her a nod, hoping she understood what she meant. "Pony, are you serious now? You think it will work at this time, killing a cultist with her axe?" Kanoko: "Yes, it may be what we need to turn this battle around. Do you trust me, sister?" Pony: "I do, sister." Pony, turning into her minotaur form, charged forward with a few sisters to defend Kanoko. A captain of the Argent Shroud looks at Kanoko, wondering what she doing as she took out a mushroom. The sister knew what that mushroom was due to her studies as she tries to stop her, but she ate it. Looking at Kanoko, wondering why she would do that till she took out a special gun that works with her quirk. Kanoko: "Pony, hold them for a little longer." As Pony nodded, stabbing a cultist before using her war axe to cut through a few plague bearers, the sister that joined her melt the Nurglings with flamers and heavy bolters, shooting the cultist trying to charge towards them. Kanoko begins to fire her gun, firing spores into the ground. Thousands upon thousands of spores lay into the ground. As it ended close to 10,000 spores on the ground, the sister backed away from her slowly as Pony retreated to Kanoko's side. Ready to defend her, Kanoko took some deep breaths as slams her arms into the ground, using her second part of her quirk, growing the spores. The sisters watch in shock and horror, seeing the spores transform into one of the biggest threats in the Imperium. Orcs grew from the spores. The darkness of the skies helped they grew as they formed from. Breathing hard, Kanoko looked at her as she struggles to stand. Lucky Pony lifted her up and put her on her shoulder. As the orcs look around before hearing a whistle, seeing the exhaust mushroom girl. The biggest orc took steps forward and looked at her. Orc boss: "Hey Lita, Umi mushroom git." Kanoko: "I am ya spineless dog, dos get over, der said ya, da weakest orc de eva seen." Kanoko: "Day said me, da waagh. Boss made, da weakest orc. Day said ya nothing but Gretchen." This made the orcs mad. They were roaring, chanting, ready to fight, but they had no weapons till a box landed next to them with blades and guns. Digging into the boxes, they grabbed the axes and sword the bolters from orcs' war bands that were killed before as they start shooting into the sky. Kanoko: "Attack da, Yumi's wit, dat weird plague symbol everyone else don't now, ready for da biggest funnest scrap we will have." As the orcs roar, all turning around to see a large group of cultists and plague bearers approaching till they stop. As Kanoko jumps off Pony's shoulders, taking out her sword and pointing to the enemy. Kanoko: "Wa-ag. Orcs. WWAAAAAGGGGHHH." As her pony and the orcs charge into the enemy, sister of the Argent were amazed by her power as they take out their weapons, joining in the battle. As they charge into the enemy, they start killing, slashing into them with her, telling him to take half and head to where the main forces were. The war boss took his half, screaming while taking out enemies along the way, heading towards the main battlefield. On the main battlefield, the situation was turning dire as the Chaos forces were pushing harder the Allies could. It made their advance slow down and getting more of their units killed, all until they felt the earth shake. Looking at the direction one of his wolf guards screams, "Orcs have been spotted." As Rush was prepared to engage them as well, Kanoko called him on a Vox channel. Kanoko: "Lord Russ, do not attack the orcs. I created them. They are charging from the side into the enemy. It's time to push back against these heretical sums." Russ for the first time had nothing to say. He was shocked to see a horde of them rush towards the sides ready to fight. He then bellow and howl loud. Lehman Russ: "Ha ha ha, nicely done, Lady Kanoko. This will go down in history and our chapter's legends." Lehman Russ: "FOWARD, my sons and allies, it's time to end this battle." Howls, charging towards the enemy. Russ, looking at a tide of green rushing into the plague bearers, gave him and his forces the opening they needed to regroup and counterattack. Rushing forward with his forces, they began to change the tide of battle. For the first time in Imperial history, to their knowledge, orcs, Tau, Aeldari and the Imperium working together to fight out the stains of chaos charging into them and beginning to decimate them. Back-to-back orcs had covered the Marines and their allies as they covered the orcs, pushing back the chaos forces towards the area where they were coming in. Commander Shiso had ordered the Tau to set up their heavy guns on a hillside and began their barrage, covering everyone as the push forwards. Sinbul, after killing a group of Plague Marines, ordered the Aeldari do the same on the other hill. They won both artillery and heavy gun batteries, doing their job pushing back the forces of chaos and making the Plague Marines rethink their advance. Both commanders have set up defensive units while fighting in the front to make sure the guns do their job and help push the allies forwards. Mortarion, looking at the situation, knew he must join the battle as he leads his personal guard toward the line in order to try to turn the tide. Konoko charged into a group of Plague Marines, slicing them with her sword before taking out a bolter to fire at a few. Pony was right there supporting her, using her horn cannons as it tore through Plague Bearers and a few Marines before being hit away by one of the most dangerous members of the Death Guard. As they both saw Pony horns pierce into him, he turns, looking, swinging his mighty scythe, killing a few battle sisters and orcs. "You two have done enough. I will personally deal with both of you myself, you worthless flesh worshippers. Typhus, now you face the Herald of Nurgle." Ready his scythe. As he charges toward the girls, some orcs try to get into his way, but they were cut down. Pony took the charge head-on, blocking his strike with her axes as Konoko used her back to jump over her and slash at Typhus. Getting behind her, she stabs him right behind the knee. As he pushes away, Pony turning quickly to strike Konoko, but she raises her shield up quickly enough to block as the force pushes her away a little. He begins to strike at her, swinging his scythe around, but her training and speed was making it difficult for him to hit her. But every time she dodges, she would get a strike. Right when he thought he was about to get her from the side, two horns tore through his armor, sending him flying back. Typhus, foolish girls, I am a champion of Nurgle. I will not fall. I will kill you both and use your husks to create more forces for my master. Charging once again, the girls take turns battling him, defending and attacking with each strike, doing their best to take flesh away from his bulky body. Each slash and cut took more of his armor away and more of his bulk. When he caught Pony off guard, Konoko used her flamer, burning him away from him as he screeches from the pain. Konoko, Pony, together let us finish this for our sisters that perish this day and send this motherfucker to hell. Pony, right sister, let our flamers purge him from our world. Some Terminators came to help Typhus to defend him while he recovers, but were tackled and killed by Meganobs that rushed to help their leader. Turning, they gave a nod to Konoko to start her plan as they rushed, trying to fight Typhus. Minutes passed as the last Meganob fell with a smile on his face as the girls were ready to start their plan. Pony charges once more toward Typhus as she throws one of her axes before throwing the other one. Typhus, seeing her doing it, dodged the fist axe, but the second hit right bare his shoulder, making his arm limp. Using her strength in her Minotaur form, she uses the horn on her head and stab his knees, making him fall on them before she knee his face. Typhus, screaming through the pain, took his combat knife and stabbed her near her thigh, making Pony wince, but she didn't fall. She grabbed it, ripping it out of her before she stabs it into his other shoulder, making his other arm limp. Rolling away in pain, Konoko took aim with a heavy flamer. Konoko, purge in the Emperor's name, you heretic piece of shit, pressing the trigger. The flames of the flamer torch Typhus as he screams from the fire, but he stands up through it all, ready to attack till he felt he couldn't move. He see the wrench Konoko smiling at him with a grin. Konoko, that flamer didn't just have the flames of the Emperor in them, they had mushroom spore that I control, moving her hands to form them inside his body, spreading it all around. Konoko, certain mushroom spores enter your body like how your forces do to infect worlds, but mine are flammable. Typhus, not understanding what she had meant until he felt the inside of his body burning, the pain of the flamer deep inside his skin. As he tries to rip his armor off him, Pony grabs her axes, swinging them down with all her might, slashing his arms clean off while breaking her blades. The flamer's fire and spore went deep into Typhus as Konoko didn't let up, getting closer to him step by step, watching the flames get hotter. Typhus screams loud for Nurgle to help him, but in his head all he heard was laughing from the god of pestilence himself, hearing the world failure over and over as he raises his hand trying to touch her to infect her with Nurgle blessing, but it turns to ash. As Konoko look at the ash being blown away by the wind, she ruses over to Pony, who went back to normal but still bleeding from her leg wound. Using some medical gauze she wraps her wound and call for medic as Kanoko ordered the orcs to crush the rest. On the other side of the battlefield Russ was slicing through the vile creatures of the warp and the damn filth of the plague marines. He saw his target in sight, looking straight at his traitor brother. The orcs were doing a fantastic job providing support for Imperium forces as they drove the plague bearers back while everyone else dealt with the plague marine. The Death Guard took the brunt of the attack to redeem themselves, fighting up close against their former brothers, not showing an ounce of mercy to them. A dreadnought is leading the charge, clearing the space for Lord Russ and his sons. He is named after the great hero Huron Fal, one who fought in so many battles and led his brothers. Killing a few plague's terminators, he clears the way for Lord Russ to charge at his former brother. Leman Russ. Mortarion, today is the day you fall. You will be defeated and killed on this field. Mortarion. No, brother, you and your forces will fall this day. I will make sure to take your head from your shoulders and use your body to make new creations for Nurgle. Mortarion. Now then, prepare for this fight, brother. Their weapons clash with such forces as it shook the ground. Each slash and counter made the ground tremble underneath them, as around them the force continued to fight on, but the Imperium and their allies were pushing the Death Guard back. Hours passed as the battle raged on. Death was everywhere, bodies of both sides fallen. Siege weapons destroyed, their plague burst crawlers all destroy thanks to the combined efforts of the Tau and Aeldari with the Rodent squad destroyed their plague burst crawlers and burned the plague marine. Bombers hitting where the reinforcement were entering, distributing, purging the ground with holy fire, watching the cultist and Nurgle units burns. Eri was riding around leading the wolf riders, slashing and killing cultist and plague marines alike, the first test of battle for her. Feeling something was off, she rode towards her uncle, pushing her wolf as hard as she could. She saw in the distance the battle between Russ and Mortarion, their combat skills for the hours that have passed until Mortarion finally was able to disarm Russ. As he looks down, he at his former brother, ready to end him. Mortarion. This is the end, brother. You fought well and learned from our last battle, but once again I am victorious. Your corpse will be a great puppet for Nurgle. As he raises his scythe to kill him, Russ blocks it with his hands, holding it in place. The struggle of holding it back before Mortarion kicks him in the side, making him winch in pain. Just as he was about to swing down once more, till he felt pain in his shoulder and back. Eri and her wolf were on top of him as she kept stabbing him with a combat knife. Mortarion move around trying to shake the girl off her as he grabs her wolf, throwing her away. Eri held on tightly, still stabbing him till the knife finally broke and she was throwing away but was caught by Hilda, as she puts her down slowly and looks at Mortarion. Hilda. Little pup, you should be careful now. How about we fight this bastard with your uncle and end this battle? As Hilda started to transform, her body broke down, skin tearing apart as she grew, antlers growing on her head as her face morphs forward, looking canine. Standing as tall, the Primarch, her roar sends a terrifying screech in the air, making the Nurglings run away in fear. Eri, looking at her, said only one thing. Eri. Wow, she roars and charge at Mortarion as he blocks a claw strike but was pushed back hard. Looking up, he had to block another strike as it pushes him back more. Eri, riding her wolf, took out a boulder gifted to her. She fires shots to distract him while Hilda attacked from the front. The combine attacks made Mortarion step back from the assault, giving time for Russ to get up and grab his axe once again. Now all three are working together. They kept pushing him back towards the Chaos Gate as he was getting furious. Taking his scythe, he swings it, sending a shock wave with his power, sending the three flying. As Russ and Hilda are disoriented, Mortarion looks at Eri, stepping close to her. Mortarion. You child are the daughter of that failure of a Primarch, the bane in our existence, lifting his scythe. Mortarion. I will make sure he sees me turn you into one of Nurgle creations before I kill him myself, swinging his axe. Just as he was about to hit her, her wolf jumps. Oh no, his back biting on his shoulder. As Mortarion was doing his best to shake her wolf off, she stood up, grab her knife, taking it out. As she removes her hat, letting her hair flow as she slowly activates her quirk. Mortarion grabbed the wolf again and he uses his full strength to throw her at Russ and Hilda that were trying to attack him from behind, making them fly back a bit. Just then he screams, feeling himself be stabbed once again on the shoulder, seeing it was the young girl. As he once again tries to shake her off, he sees a few broken buildings, slamming his back through them to try to get her off. Her screams of pain are heard, but she doesn't let go. She takes a hidden knife out and stab him in the other shoulder, ready to activate her quirk. Mortarion. What are you doing, foolish child? What is happening to me? Feeling himself changing and losing to aging. Eri. I'm using my quirk to stop you and save my family. Be gone from this world, you fucking bastard. Airy quirk activated as Mortarion started to feel himself de-age. In the eye of terror, Grandpa Nurgle stopped mixing a potion, feeling his power and influence leave Mortarion. As he opens a viewpoint with what power he has left, he sees Mortarion going back to the way he was before he became his puppet. His screams can be heard in his realm as he loses his herald. For Mortarion, his screams were heard through the battlefield as the Chaos Gate was slowly disappearing. The forces of Nurgle all started to be sent back through the gate, as well as the Plague Marines. Everyone stood still watching as each force of chaos was taken back into the portal before it closed. Airy. For the Emperor, unleashes quirk at her full power. Mortarion screamed more as he saw himself going back to before he became Nurgle, slave to aging further till he no longer existed. Mortarion, Primarch of the Death Guard, was gone. The ground around them, now being affected by Airy quirk, was turning back to normal. The filth of chaos disappearing through the area as the fallen started to rise. The heavily wounded were healed till the light glow stopped. Russ and Hilda got up feeling no pain or injuries as they looked toward where Airy was, seeing her on the ground. Rushing towards her, Russ picks her up, slowly checking if she was breathing, but it was irregular, and her forehead was burning up. An apothecary was rushing toward him to check on him until Russ turned to look at him frantically. Lehman Russ. Apothecary, check on her immediately, find out what's wrong now. The apothecary did a scan showing that she has a high fever, probably due to her using her quirk. As he slowly scans her more, showing her irregular breathing was due to overuse of her quirk. He uses a pill that he gives to sick guardsmen, putting it in Airy mouth with some water from his canteen as she slowly drinks. Checking her vitals again, they say that her fever was starting to go down and her breathing was returning to normal when footsteps approach. Pony and Kanoko rush towards them to check on Airy as her wolf sat by her side till medics can take her to the medical tents. Seeing the battlefield as victory was secure, Russ unleashed a mighty howl towards everyone as celebrations began. The Hokkaido campaign was a success as they started to gather who remained to look for survivors and sent reinforcement to Izuku. Lion Battlefield Lion L. Johnson was killing Slaanesh demons left and right with his chapter and the supportive ones as well, pushing through the ranks with his sons to get closer to the center of the Chaos Tant. Hell Striders of Slaanesh tried to attack the rear of the forces, but Koda, riding his wolf and with the Krieg cavalry, were doing their best dealing with them with the support of Tau Devilfish. Devilfish coming in went to fire on them when the cavalry move away to strike another group. In union, both unites decimated the Hell Striders, destroying them. Fulgrim from on top a hill, seeing the situation, send in one of Slaanesh's most feared champions into battle and carry. As he rushes down with more Hell Striders, Koda looks and forms his cavalry. Koda. For the Emperor, hold them for our allies to push forward. Men charges toward them. Horses rumble the ground as both force ready to clash, lances drop ready to hit and explode on contact. With one final scream, both lines hit. Explosion cries of men dying and demons alike were in the air. Koda bravely charged into one, letting his lance hit before taking out his chainsword, slashing and killing another. His wolf kept moving, making sure he was safe as his cavalry fought the riders away. Suddenly a spear landing near Koda, making his wolf jump back growling. Nakari swung his sword, killing 10 cavalrymen at once as he looks at Koda. Nkari. You boy, you are the son of the one that denies the chaos gods to this world, to have all of this essence for my god to use against you mortals. Nkari. I shall end your life slowly to enjoy the screams of your pain. Yes, your screams will make me feel complete. Raising his arms, Nkari struck forward, ready to strike at Koda, but he dodges out the way and struck his arm with his chain sword. As it lodges into his claw arm, he reaves it, slashing into Nkari before cutting through it. Nkari screams, seeing that he lost one of his arms, his perfection gone in his eyes as he, in anger, he tries swings his blade wildly. But Koda dodge each strike, studying his enemy as Commissar Peter taught him, though it was getting more difficult. Just then a sword slash push and carry back, revealing to be Azrael, the chapter master of the Dark Angels, arrives to help him and support him. Azrael. Young lord, you are brave to fight a demon prince by yourself, but I shall help you. If we are to fall, we shall fall together to honor those that have died. Koda. Yes, Lord Azrael led, revering his chainsword. Minutes passed as their battle had begun. The clash of blades and power was felt, but Nakari was starting to overpower them both. As Azrael blocks another blow, he is hit with the other claw hand by Nkari. As he was about to kill him, Koda blocked his strike, using his chain sword to slice him till Nkari threw it off him, making him fly back on the ground a bit. Seeing his arm saw in, he looks at the child trying to get up from the pain. Smiling, he slowly moves up to Kota as lifting his blade to strike till it is blocked by another. Young Commissar, you have fought well, but I shall help you now. Kota looks up seeing the man in gray armor, blocking Nkari's sword with ease. Nkari felt fear for the first time, moving his blade back, but in one swift motion his arm holding the blade was cut off. Kaldor Drago. For this I shall defeat this demon, for you and my brothers will help. Warp gates open on all lines. Grey Knights appear rushing out to help their brothers in battle. Demons felt powerless against the Grey Knights being massacred. Asriel, chapter master of the, raises his sword and joins in battle with Kaldor, working together to slowly defeat Nkari. Each limb being cut till all his arms were gone as Nkari fell on his knee. Kota finished off by slamming his chain sword into his head, using it to slice it in half. Giving a tired sigh, Kota Wolf came to him, letting him get on as the Krieg cavalry line up once again behind him and began their charge once more. Kaldor looked upon the battlefield as the smaller chapters that had sent help were having trouble pushing back the forces of chaos, though the loyalist emperor children were doing their best, sacrificing themselves to defend them. Raising his sword, he orders the push forward and the spread through the battlefield to support everyone. In another part of the line, the sisters led by Kendo were supporting the push of the Sons of the Phoenix and loyalist emperor children against the traitors. Just then a crash came into one group of Marines, slicing them clean, making them all fall and tumble in death. Then a long tongue reached out, grabbing another person, snapping his neck before he cleans the blood on his blade. Kendo, seeing this, readied her blade and shield, as she knew from the archives there was one person that could deal this much damage and enjoy every second. Luqui. Ah, another warrior for my armor. I am Luqui the Eternal, and you will be my next armor piece. As he rushes towards Kendo, doing a strike with his blade, Kendo block with hers as their battle began. Strike after strike, they counter each other till Luqui made a mistake. He sent out his tongue to grab her, but she dodged the attack and took her shield on her tongue before slicing it clean off. Luqui scrambled back as he screams in pain from losing his tongue. He just barely dodges bolter fire from her gun as he ran away from the shots before kicking her hard in the ribs, sending her back a little. She slowly got up but quickly blocked a blade attempt towards her. Minutes passed as they continued to clash around each other, dodging and attacking till Kendo guard was dropped and he struck, pushing her away from the strike. Kendo struggling to get up as he moves closer, trying to slash her again, but she blocks it once more before using her quirk to make her fist big to punch him away. Lucius. Interesting power. I wonder when you become a part of my armor will I be able to attain that, as he swings down with both swords. The sound of steel clash against something wicked, as Lucius look up seeing who block him. The shock looks on his face said it all as he jumps back quickly to get some distance. As she see a hand, she grabs it, being pulled up slowly as the person moves away from her. Sister, you have done well facing this abomination of the warp, but now let me finish this battle. Garen Crow. For now, I shall banish him from this world. As Garen charged towards Lucius, their blade clash, as with each strike Lucius felt weaker and weaker, as he taken slashes and cuts, but also jumping in as Kendo helping Garen fight him together. Lucius is doing his best to block an attack, but his arm was sliced off by Kendo before Garen slice his arm off arm. The screech from Lucius seeing him arm cut off had him swing widely as Garen block it and Kendo slice his other arm off. Looking at his missing limbs, he charges at them, but Garen and Kendo sidestep as Garen slice him clean in half. Lucius saw himself in half, but he started to chuckle and laugh about it. Lucius. Ha. Ha. Ha ha. Ha ha. You might have defeated me but don't know about the curse that is within me. Lucius. You shall soon be one with me. Laughs like a madman till he heard Kendo laugh. Kendo. Bawahaha, oh, I know about your curse, Lucius, from the archives, the sisters' library, which is why I have this ready. She took a grenade out from her pocket as she kicks his part nears him before pulling it. Lucius looking closely had his eye widen as he screams no, trying to stop her, but it was too late. The grenade was thrown, and it trapped him and his body into a time rift stuck for all eternity. Garen look at her wondering where she got it. She explains that Terrazin gave her this in case he can add to his collection, and now with Lucius out the way no harm can be done to anyone else in the universe. Garen understood, giving her a nod as they saw Terrazin come through a web gate taking Lucius to his collection, thanking her. As they nodded to him, they rushed back into the fight to join the lines, helping his Sons of the Phoenix, Dark Angels and the Loyalist Emperor children. Lion L. Johnson fight as he kills the last of the Terminators that were defending the area his brother was in. He looks to see the monster his brother had become, how the filth of chaos spread on him. Lion L. Johnson. Look at you, a pawn for the chaos gods, and look at what they have made you, a disappointment in father's eyes. Fulgrim. No, I was made perfect by the Slanesh, and now you shall face the full might of chaos. I hope you are ready, brother, for when this battle offer you will be my new plaything. Lion L. Johnson. No, Fulgrim, on this day I shall be victorious, and I shall send you back to your master as a failure as you always been. As they rushed towards each other, their blade clash, striking with force, sending shockwaves through the field. With each strike and block of their blades spark from the force of the blades as they fought for hours. All around them, though, the forces of chaos were pushed back towards the gate, being decimated. Shadowsun ordered her forces to push forwards with the Eldari as fly towards the lion, while Tyleal rushing to him as well, killing cultist on the way. Fulgrim blocked attacks from behind with 2 of his daggers, but couldn't parry the attack from the lion as one of his arms were cut off. The battle rage on Shadowsun, striking quick while Tyleal came from his blind spot to attack him. The lion also attacked him when he was distracted, losing another arm. Letting out a loud screech, Shadowsun and Tyleal were thrown back a few feet, but lion stood strong. Fulgrim, looking at his 2 missing arms bleeding from them, looked at his former brother, wondering what could have been if he had joined chaos. Lion L. Johnson. This is it, Fulgrim, your final moments. I shall purge you from this world and make sure your disgrace of a legion is no more. Fulgrim. Never, brother, join us. Join us, lend us your aid to conquer these fools. Together we can end this cycle of hate. Instead of waiting to give him an answer, Lion strike with so much force it broke his remaining defense, cutting the remaining arms off. Fulgrim tried to slither away, but Shadowsun shot him back, and as Tyleal stabbed his tail with his blade, stopping him. Struggling to pull away, his back was stomped on by the lion before he quickly slashes his head complete off. Holding it in the air, Slanesh screeches in the warp, losing her champion, as the lion roars in victory. Just as it was on Rust's side, the gate started to disappear all the chaos forces into it, making it disappear with them and slowly clearing the land of the corruption. Everyone cheered and celebrated for the victory as Koda rode near to his uncle Lion, saluting him as he nods to him before ordering everyone to gather the wounded for healing, the dead to bury, and assemble our forces to head towards Izuku location. Angron battled. The field of Izu were tainted with blood from both sides, as they continued to clash, slashing, crushing, stomping. Beheading of both forces were happening all around. Angron had single-handed taken out 20 by himself, as Karn the same, till they finally saw each other. Running towards each other, Gorechild and Lightbringer clash together as they take turns slashing and dodging each other attacks. Both sides of men clash all around, bodies decimated, stab pierce deep into the enemy armor. The Solar Auxilia lost so many due to their bravery, charging into enemy head-on. For every 4 of them killed, they took out traitor scum, but they didn't falter and helped the knights kill the traitors. In the distance, Awase was smashing the traitors with his warhammer while reciting prayers for the men around, giving them a morale boost, till a roar was heard as he turns around to see 4 men cut down. Looking at the beast in front of him, he could tell this would be his greatest challenge in faith as he faces the mighty demon Skarbrand. Skarbrand. Ah, another skull to send to my master, and added for the skull throne, I shall enjoy decapitating you for my master. Awase. Foul demon, I shall send you back to the realm of your master, and make sure you never able to come back. Skarbrand charged towards Awase as he swung his might axes, but Awase blocked it with ease using his shield, swinging his might hammer into the face of the demon, sending him back. The battle was fierce as each strike was blocked by Awase. Though his shield was being damaged bit by bit, he did not falter. For every block strike he countered it with his own on his might hammer, making Skarbrand weaker. Some world bearers try to intervene, but he kills them all with ease. Locking blade and hammer once more, Skarbrand roared, trying to bring fear into the young chaplain, but Awase stared back, saying a prayer before he swung his hammer once more, striking back the demon to the ground. Reforging his warhammer, he made it to a 2-handed sword as he stood over Skarbrand to stab him in the chest. Roaring in pain, he pulls back the sword quickly before swinging it on his neck, cutting it clean off. Lifting his head to show the other demon, he put it on his belt as he charges into them. Back to Angron as him and Karn are battling it out with their blades, blood dripping from the small cuts they gave each other. As they clash once again in the middle, Karn spot to him. Karn. Look at the legion you created with your rage, don't we make you proud, father? Karn. The blood we spill, the hatred from the nails that embodies our brain, it was all your doing, and yet you reject us as your sons. Angron. Yes, and I lead you all to this damnation, and yet I found redemption. But it seems you all did not, so now I shall cleanse this land and end the Legion for good. As Angron kick him hard, pushing him back, he strikes with relentless fury as Karn block each strike but was struggling to keep defending. Just then he was strike with one rising strike, cutting Karn deep. As Karn got angry, he strikes back using the rage he is building, striking as he uses his chainsaw and his axe. But Angron block it last minute with his sword as they struggle for dominance. Around them both forces were brutally killing each other, but slowly the knights were pushed back, losing more due to them not having the ferocity from the nails. As they were being pushed back more and more, the device finally activates as a big webway opens up. As the World Eaters look, thinking it was more blood to shed, they were being shot and disappearing in dust. Stepping out of the portal space, Marines burning black armor as dark as night, cover in fire but not burning them. The World Eaters knew who these were. They only ever come out during the darkest times of the Imperium, or when the Imperium needs the most help. Angron. The Legion of the Damned. No words were spoken as they charge in with their weapons, killing the World Eaters as they began to turn the tide. Awase look at them, amazed by their power, as a dreadnought kill a berserker that was about to strike him. Awase thanked the Ancient One as he helps keeps killing. Karn, shocked by the results of what is happening, didn't pay attention as Angron thrusted forward with his sword, piercing him in the chest. Karn screamed as he let his might axe drop from his hand. As Angron grabbed it, doing a mighty swing on Karn, hitting him right on the neck. Angron. Karn, my own weapon is your downfall. This will be the last time I ever see you. Revering the axe blade, he starts going into his neck, the blood pouring out, with Angron screaming, cutting his head complete off, before stabbing it right into his neck and going through him, cutting him in half. The World Eaters see their leader kill as each one is being slaughtered by the Legion and Knights. For another 3 hours the battle progress. Every single member were killing turned into ash by the Legion of the Damned weapons. As Angron check on everyone, one person of the Legion looks at him as Angron had a feeling that he knew this specific warrior, as for the first time the Marine took off his helmet. It was his friend, the one he fought so long with in the arena, who helped everyone escape. As Angron said thank you before the Legion returned through the web gate close behind all of them. Angron ordered everyone to gather the wounded to get healed by the apothecaries and get as many men as possible ready to move out after resting. It's time to help brother Izuku. Izuku battle. The streets of Tokyo run red with blood. It reminds him of the amount of blood that was spilled during the siege of Terra, but for each street they clear, they closer they got the goal. Izuku was lucky to see the Order of Hospitallers set up in a safe area as they were helping treat wounds of soldiers and Marines alike. The push forward continues as the Chaos forces were being frantic with their defense as they just pinned Izuku Ibara and their men down. Izuku. Anyone on this frequency, we are pinned down by heavy weapons fire and anti-tank fire. Izuku. We are in need of assistance. Just then heavy footsteps could be heard as the men pinned down did their best to cover themselves. Buildings that the men weren't using were toppled down as red giant machines appear, firing their heavy cannons on the positions. Tetsu. The Omnissiah has heed your call, brother. We shall cleanse a path toward Abaddon Fortress. The siege cannons fire on the positions, destroying them one by one as Chaos Knights try to intervene but were decimated by the firepower. As they arrive near the fortress, everyone that was still around gathered to charge. The Thanatar lead the way, breaking though the wall as Crimson Fists circle around their feet, shooting the Chaos Warriors as they made a defensive position. The walls were taken as Izuku begins his next phase to enter the fortress. Izuku. Everyone careful and separate into groups, let us clear this fortress. Izuku. Contour, take the west side of the fortress, clear the area of this filth. Contour. It will be done, Lord Izuku. Contour with his Crimson Fist and some of the Death Watch began their assault. Izuku. Tokiyami, take the west side, there's still Chaos Marines in that area, wipe them and the gate out. The Imperial First and some remaining Death Watch will help you. Reiko. I shall assist him if that's okay with you, Lord Izuku. Izuku. Very well, go ahead, Ibara Bakugo with me, we can handle everything else. As the squads moved through the fortress slaughtering the cultists that tried to stop them on Tokiyami's side, the push was easy due to the steward of the Imperial Fist as they made it near the area where the gate was. Just then a loud thump was behind them as they began to fire. A greater demon struck 5 Imperium First Astartes as they were like nothing as it uses its quirk to make everyone lock in place. Tokiyami knew who it was right away as the demon laughed at their face red to kill them but was struck back by warp lighting. Reiko blasted another powerful blast making the demon fall on his back making his quirk stop working. Looking at each other they nodded their head as Reiko freed everyone and told them to continue the push me and Tokiyami will handle this. Tokiyami activated his thunderclaws as Reiko floated in the air a little warp lighting gather in her hand ready to send a horrible shock to the beast. Slowly Rock Lock got up and roar at the two before she starts a D change. Contour and his forces were pushing slowly towards the courtyard and reinforcement from part of a Tau regiment went to support them. For Izuku Bakugo and Ibara they were moving up slowly seeing a small courtyard clearing it from the enemies before opening a passageway for them to use. Walking through it slowly Ibara said what was that, as they looked down the hallway. Bakugo said probably someone needs help till the hallway walls were destroyed with a Chaos Dreadnought pushed back smack by a Loyalist Dreadnought before he unleashes lead into his mouth killing him before turning to his lord. Dreadnought. Where are the traitors? Izuku. They are everywhere. Bakugo. Honor brethren join us, and you may sat your rage and aid our cause. Dreadnought. Lead me to the slaughter. The three follow the Dreadnought as he begins to kill the Black Legion's Marines decimating their numbers as they kept rushing toward the group, taking cover the 3-3 fires on them while Dreadnought was stomping on some while decimating them with his gun. Getting close to the portal they were rushing for him in the skies a loud screech was heard, the three look up seeing a corrupted Ryukyu flying spreading fire in their path trying to block them. The Dreadnought finally clearing the Black Legion look up at the abomination and walk towards a pillar. Please start at 0.20 second thank you credit goes to Warhammer 2 game. Dreadnought. That abomination is mine. Dreadnought. In the name of the Emperor, I cast you down. Bakugo. Holy Terra, Ibara. My love we don't know if she is finished yet me and Bakugo will go after her kill that bastard Abaddon spreading her wings and heading towards the area Ryukyu fell in. Bakugo. Yay we got that bitch don't worry bro finish this and save our world using his explosion to follow. Izuku. Good luck you two looks at the Dreadnought Ancient One please heads down and help our fellow brothers defend the courtyard. Dreadnought. Very well my lord walks away. Izuku rushing through what was left of the Black Legion trying to defend Abaddon slicing and shooting his way towards the door as screams were heard inside the room. Breaking in the door he sees Abaddon sacrificing what was left of the Hero Commission while the leader was screaming, "We had a deal before he was beheaded." Turning to finally see him Abaddon took his mighty war mace out feeling the power chaos rush into him as he slams his mace on the ground before pointing it towards him. Abaddon. Finally, you have arrived Izuku, you will meet your end here today and your blood will be spill for all to see. Abaddon. Your blood will fuel the gate and bring this entire world to its knees then the galaxy will burn. Abaddon. You may have ruined my forces, ruin our chances but with your blood spill it will bring everything back prepare to die corpse worshipper. Izuku took out his sword, one blessed by the Emperor himself as he takes a stance with Abaddon screaming as he charges towards them. As they block each other blows the shockwave shook the entire citadel breaking all the glass, as Izuku kept his strikes up and Abaddon doing the same trying to counter his blows. For 2 hours no warrior gave way shattered the floor beneath them as they tried to strike each other. Izuku finally got his chance as feints an attack making Abaddon miss his strike before he uppercuts him sending him in the air. Izuku spread his wings flying above him before punching him hard trough the floors all the way to the bottom. Abaddon got up quickly to dodge an attack from Izuku before swinging his mace hitting Izuku out of the area into the open battlefield. For hours they battle making each other bleed from hits and blows toward each other as till Abaddon scream crushing his mace onto the group sending Izuku back with a powerful shockwave. Izuku tired tried to stand but Abaddon stomp on his chest before kicking him through a few buildings. Spitting out blood Izuku see Abaddon rise his mighty mace ready to deliver a powerful blow with all his strength till one word was heard making Izuku eyes pop open wide. Onnii-chan hours prior Hina was with her mom in this tent as she was rushing around bringing medical supplies and tools though tired, she kept going and helped. Dropping off on more load of medical supplies her mother Midnight help her sit. Midnight. Honey you need to rest I know you want to help but you are still a child. Hina. But Mom Oni-chan fighting so hard to save everyone I want to do the same to help these Marines and troopers. Midnight looks at her daughter and smile before kneeling before her. Midnight. Alright honey, one more hour then you rest, okay. As Hina shook his head yes, she rushes off to bring bandages and other things towards the injured while stopping to give ammo packs to the men that were heading back to battle. As the hour was up and she was about to rest, she felt something is off. The custodies that were assigned to protect her look at her taking out his lance ready to defend her or help her in any way as he kneels to her. Custodies Dessen. Young Hina, what is wrong? It seems you've seen a ghost or something. Hina. Dessen, it's my brother, something is wrong, I have to save him somehow. Custodies Dessen. I'm sorry my lady, but I cannot let you be out there on the field, you are not combat ready. Hina. Please Dessen, I need to, something is wrong with Oni-chan, giving him puppy dog eyes. Dessen look at her sighing, knowing he will be in trouble. Lifting her up, they left quickly to the field as they hide behind buildings, reaching the area where Izuku was fighting Abaddon as he was trip up and kick away. Hina was worried seeing the mace that Abaddon had glowing wildly as he was about to strike him. Hina look around seeing a shield on the ground and though of only one thing. Hina. Dessen, throw me, I have to stop that attack, grabbing the shield. Dessen. My lady, are you mad? That could possibly kill you. Hina. It's a sacrifice worth making, Dessen, to save my brother from that blow. Dessen look at Hina seeing she was a real warrior for the emperor and her land as he carefully adjusts the shield for her and uses all his strength, throwing her over the field towards her brother in the distance. Hina holding on for all her might, though in her head knowing this might hurt her as she soars over. Seeing Abaddon about to strike, she turns with all her might, getting in front of the strike. Hina. Onni-chan takes the strike. Present time. The shield she was holding broke from the strike as Izuku with wide eyes quickly held her push back from the impact, crashing into a building. The field went silent till Abaddon began laughing, saying victory was his. But the ruble started to move as Izuku came out of his wings, covering him and his sister. As Izuku looks in his arms, staring at his little sister, saying her name. Izuku. Hina, wake up please. Footsteps were heard as her custodes guard came kneeling before his lord. He explained how she felt something was off and wanted to help him, taking all responsibilities for this action. Izuku was about to speak till laughter was heard, seeing it was Abaddon as he stepped closer. Abaddon. Foolish child, she was a pathetic excuse for Li. Abaddon didn't even have a chance to finish as he was punched back so hard. He went through 9 buildings before stopping and making the 10 crumble on him. Breaking free, he felt murderous aura coming from where he was punched. Stumbling a little, he turns to see a huge amount of warp energy gather in that area as it was being unleashed. Izuku, after punching Abaddon, look at the custodes as he was struggling to stand with all the murderous aura being released. Izuku. Custodes Dessen, take my sister to the nearest medical tent now and do not stop till you are there, am I clear? Custodes Dessen couldn't even look at him as the aura was so intense. All he said was yes my lord as he carefully grabbed her and began running as quickly as he could. Izuku stood up seeing Abaddon come out the rumble look and release his warp energy in him. He closes his eyes and opens them, the once green eyes now crimson red as the Black Age release. In his mind he is talking to the vassal of One for All as he looks at them. Izuku. Shall we unleash hell upon him for what he has done? The members agree as they are ready to unleash their full power to break this fool for what he did. Outside he unleashed One for All at max percentage, making the ground shake beneath him as he screams in the air, combining it all together. Abaddon felt something after so long, as he watched him walk to him slowly, the light surrounding Izuku glow as he couldn't see Izuku. With the way he was slowly coming to him, he didn't notice some music in the background making the scene more frightening. For Izuku this power was sensational as he never felt so much of it before. As he walked slowly to Abaddon, his armor shattered from the power, but opening his eyes he uses the power of the warp to reform his armor into one he remembers from a childhood show his father saw. His wings were released, but instead of 2 they splintered into 4 majestic wings full of fire from the Emperor's sword. Looking once again to Abaddon, he flash step right next to him, delivering a powerful uppercut to him, sending him flying before he flashes again, hammer fist him back into the ground, creating a small crater in the ground. Abaddon struggling to get up the impact and punches dented his armor, something though impossible. Looking up, the darkened skies of corruption were gone as Izuku slowly descended, the Emperor's light shining in the skies. Looking at Abaddon, he takes out his halberd as it ignites in the Emperor fire as he flies quickly towards Abaddon. Izuku. You will suffer for hurting my little sister. Tokiyami and Reiko fight. Tokiyami and Reiko were attacking Rock Lock over and over, taking small pieces of him as he was pushing them both back.
Sliding back, they start breathing hard, wondering how to get through the tough armor. Reiko, standing up, quickly fires a blast of warp lighting towards Rocklock, shocking him and making him fall on his knees. Tokiyami and Reiko take a breather behind a false statue as they come up with a plan to try to defeat the beast.
Tokiyami. His armor very strong, my blades are even having trouble getting through even with dark and light shadow support. Reiko. Indeed, my blast are hitting him hard, but it won't keep him down for long, we need more firepower for this. Rocklock looks at both, charging them. With a might swing he sent through a wall on the outside courts, crashing on the other side. They both got up slowly before watching multiple groups of Kregmen join in the fight, shooting him with their las guns and rocket launches. But it was all in vain as he started squishing them, crushing them with his feet and arms. Tokiyami and Reiko were furious as they charged towards him away. For other hours they continued to attack him, relentless, doing their best to slow him and wear him down, but they couldn't get through his demonic armor. Rocklock steps on the ground, causing it to shake before charging, knocking them on their asses as light and dark shadow did their best to give them time to recover, but they were pushed back hard into Tokiyami. Rocklock, roaring and laughing, sharpened his claw on his skin before locking onto them, roaring to intimidate them, but they stood their ground. Tokiyami at the last second pushed Reiko out the way so the claw swipe down missed both of them, as he trying to slash through his ankle. Turning quickly, he swings his arm, hitting Tokiyami back hard, making him cough a little blood, feeling as his rib was bruised or broken from the strike. To cover him, Reiko gather a mass warp blast and send it towards him, damaging him, shocking the creature till he started moving very slowly towards her, ready to strike her down. Before that could happen, rockets hit him, sending him through the wall. From the skies landed the commander of the Tau forces, Farsight, as he helps both of them and gave them vials of medicine to regenerate their strength. Farsight. Forgive me for my tardiness, young warriors, was helping my units push till I got on reports from some pathfinders that you both were in trouble. Farsight. Now young warriors with me, my blade should cut through his armor in order for us to handle this. Just as they positioned themselves once again to fight, powerful shots came from a broken building, as Rocklock armor was being shot to pieces. The person heavy footstop came to a stop near them, aiming his weapon towards the demon again. Magen Ra. Seems I arrives in time to help, I'll cut down his armor enough for you all to attack and finish him off, understand? Everyone nodded to him as he began his attack. Magen began to shoot his weapon towards Rocklock, making him take damage and falling back. Farsight in his suit began to fly around with Tokiyami as Farsight began to fire his blaster and rockets and Tokiyami fired his bolter. Reiko was breathing hard, focusing her energy through her body as she prepares a powerful attack. Rocklock, sensing it, charged towards her as Magen shot his legs, repeatedly tearing the armor off them while the rocket is making him stagger back. Tokiyami rushes forward, slashing the expose legs, making Rocklock fall forward as Magen fires shots into his back, breaking and cracking the heavy armor. Reiko informed them to move out the way as she shot a powerful attack on Rocklock. The spear of warp lighting crashed into him, making him screech in pain, the unarmored parts taking the most damage from the attack, cooking him slowly. Dropping her staff, she let out more lighting to hold him still, yelling at the others. Reiko. Quickly get him, now I can't hold him for long. Magen locked himself down, overfire his gun towards the neck of Rocklock, breaking his armor more and more till no armor on his neck was left. Tokiyami and Farsight look at each other, both acting their booster. Tokiyami goes low, activating his thunderclaws, having dark and light shadow cover them for extra strength, while Farsight boost height into the skies before blasting them on full, heading toward his neck from above. Reiko, using what energy she had left, shock him once more and help in at that moment. Farsight and Tokiyami reach his neck, slicing it from each side clean off. Rocklock stopped moving as his head slowly slid off his neck, making a huge impact on the ground from how heavy he was. Some of the Equinox Astartes that still are alive rushed toward their chapter master side, with some apothecaries checking on him and Reiko. Some even assisted Farsight and Magen, checking on them till they all felt the bloodlust and power coming from Izuku battle, freezing them in place, wondering what the hell happened. Abara Bakugo fight. As they landed in the hole they created, they saw a huge path heading back towards the surface. As they made their way through its existing, they noticed they were at a different part of the battlefield where they can hear guardsmen asking for reinforcement due to Ryuko rampage. Abara flew quickly with Bakugo not far behind as he aims right at the former dragon hero, firing canister shots. The impact from the explosion knocks her down as she roars, giving the guard men time to regroup and fall back to a defensive line. Looking at where it came from, she saw the two roaring loud as she blasts fire at them. Reactive quickly to dodge before using pillar to cover themselves. Looking at each they trying to figure out how to advance till chains came out of nowhere locking her mouth shut. Gilliman wife Yvraine uses her powers wrapping chains around the corrupt hero holding her down. A blast of energy came from the hole she enters through as it was Najire her former sidekick in training and her own sister of battle armor. Yvraine. Hello. Miss Yagi and Bakugo apologies for my tardiness but I suggest we put this beast down now before more damage is done. Najire. Apologize for my tardiness as well Lady Yagi was helping a group of guardsmen. Abara. Apologize not needed Najire you were doing your duty and no need Lady Yvraine but I thank you for your assistance. Abara. Now then let us work together to take down this fallen pathetic hero. Abara flew high into the sky letting the power of Celestine flow through her. It made her wings bigger, and her sword burst into holy fire. Yvraine kept the chains tight around Ryuko holding her steady. Bakugo unleashed his Ragnarok attack on her making her screech in pain as the blast blew her wings off her before flying around her shooting multiple canister shots at her causing a massive explosion. Najire follows up with multiple blasts from her quick before switching to the dual boulders hitting her former teacher over and over. The bullets penetrate her legs making her kneel as she couldn't support her weight. She saw Najire move away quickly firing one more blast hitting her square in the eye bursting it. Bleeding screeching from the pain she tilted her head up seeing Abara form. Roaring in anger she builds up what energy she has left inside her and launches her demonic fire towards her as she puts all her energy into the attack but Abara rush forward cutting the attack in half as she continues forward. Ryuko looked back at her life wondering where it all went wrong how she ended up like this, but it was all her fault. She thought she could change this woman that she sees as a villain to be a hero when in reality she was the villain. With what little life she had left she watched as her head was rolling on the floor seeing her body drop turning to dust from the strike. Abara landing on the ground seeing the traitor turn to ash went to check on everyone till the group fell on their knees as Abara knew this feeling. Abara. On her knees oh no something made Izuku mad this power, I've only felt once and when we found out what they were doing to Eri. Bakugo. On his knees struggling the force is making me struggle to get up and messing with my armor a bit what the hell happened. They heard footsteps rushing by seeing the custodes carrying someone, as Abara did her best to look closer her face was mortified as she uses all the power, she could spread her wings rushing towards the custode. Custodes Dessen running faster than he ever has look around spotting Lady Yagi. Seeing her ask her to take Hina and get her to the base as Abara took her quickly and flew with all her might. Custodes Dessen look at himself knowing he had failed his duty that he failed to protect the young lord's sister as he grabbed his weapon rushing towards the fight to help him and gain penance for his shame. Back at the field base Midnight was screaming Hina name around as she was frantically looking for her. Some guardsmen were joining in the search as they were worried for her. Just then looking up she saw something coming towards the base. Men got in cover ready to fire upon the object till she holds fire it's Lady Abara with. Midnight. Hina. Midnight drops the binoculars as Apothecary Nathaniel and medics heard her scream rushing towards her. The apothecary saw Lady Yagi coming in with Hina in her arms ordering a gurney to be brought at once. As Abara carefully landed in the base she is holding Hina as Midnight rush over checking on her crying saying what happened. Nathaniel carefully put her on the gurney as Midnight follows closely doing her best to comfort Hina even though she was in serious pain. As they enter the room, he quickly does a scan seeing that her arms were broken in multiple places and she had mild concussion. Midnight. Crying her eyes out my baby what happened please if you can tell us. Her Vox box came on as it shows Dessen came on the screen running quickly to get to the battle. Midnight. Dessen what happened to my baby what caused this crying her eyes out. Custodes Dessen. My lady I ask no beg for your forgiveness Lady Hina foresaw that she needed to help her brother. She begs me to go out and help with her as much as I said no, she convinces me. Custodes Dessen. As we approach the battlefield, she saw her brother about to be killed, and she asked me to lend her my shield and throw her to block the attack. She took the blow, but her brother caught her. Custodes Dessen. Now her brother is fighting Abaddon once again but furious about the incident. I'm sorry that I failed you my lady and I will earn my penance supporting Lord Yagi and die fighting. Midnight heard it all and was crying seeing how brave her daughter was. As Nathaniel put her to sleep with medicine, he began slowly working on healing her till the whole base fell on their knees, feeling immense pressure. Nathaniel. I cannot move, my armor is straining against this pressure. Midnight. On her knees, where is this coming from? What is happening now? Abara. It's Izuku, he is unleashing everything to go against Abaddon. Back to Izuku, fight Izuku. You hurt my little sister. As he came crashing into the area where Abaddon was, he used what energy to warp out quickly. Looking at the area, he saw a medium-sized crater. Looking into it, he saw Izuku standing there in his glory, slowly turning to look at him before disappearing. Abaddon prepared himself till he felt immense pain on his side as he sent through multiple buildings, crashing into a destroyed Lehman Russ tank. Trying to remove himself, he was met with a devastating uppercut, sending him into the air before getting grabbed by black whips as he was then slammed over and over towards the ground. Abaddon getting up, slow vomit blood, grabbing his mace as he screams, taking in all the power left that chaos lends him. Around the battlefield, the forces of chaos disappeared. Remains chaos, Astartes scream as they were killing off their body, crumbling, turning into energy, heading towards Abaddon. All the energy flow into him as his armor broke, mutating him future into a demonic being. Abaddon. You fool, I will end you this day and use your corpse as a gateway. Abaddon. Now die, son of the Emperor. He swung his might war axe down, full of runic chaos powers, holding his mighty strike him. As he swung down thinking he won, he felt it stop midway. Looking at his mace, he saw it held back by one hand as Izuku stood there unimpressed as he grabs it, gripping it so tightly it shatters in his hand. Stabbing his halberd on the ground, he grabs his hand before saying second gear transmission, moving his hand weirdly as Abaddon lost sight of him. As he appears in front of him, he punches him so hard it lifted him up as he kept changing his gears. Izuku. Second gear punching him harder. Izuku. Third gear punches him even harder than the last punch. Izuku. Top gear punches him, hearing cracks as he sees the armor breaking. Hear the clip where the reference came from for those who seen the anime. Abaddon flew right into the air, vomiting blood as he felt his armor crack. Shocked by the power, he tries to adjust himself but was grabbed by black whips. Izuku flew above him, putting his power into his arm as he dragged him up. Izuku. Overdrive throwing punch, imperial smash. Crashing into the ground, the island of Japan shook from the power of the impact. Izuku slowly moves down towards the area but see Abaddon stand up screaming from the pain, but look at Izuku. Tired from the attack, Abaddon see his chance, activating his thunderclaw. He rushed towards to strike. As he swung his strike, Izuku tried to block but he didn't feel anything. Hearing coughing, he saw Dessen with the claws embedded in him. Izuku. Dessen, no. Dessen. Coughing up blood, my lord, it was an honor to serve your family. Please tell Lady Hina that I'm proud of her bravery and I died in my penance for not being able to protect her. He takes out a melta-bomb, pressing it as it exploded, causing an explosion, send Izuku back a little. Standing up, the roar of Abaddon seeing his hand with the thunderclaw destroyed. Izuku look at the fallen Custodes as he powers up once more, charging toward him, punching him again in the armor. Abaddon swung back with his good first as each clash sent powerful shockwaves, shaking Japan blow for blow. They match, but Abaddon armor was weakening piece by piece, it was breaking apart. A loud crack was heard as Abaddon armor broke apart, making him lose all his powers from the gods. Izuku, seeing his opening, knew it was time to end this as he unleashes a powerful punch, sending him towards the wall. Abaddon ribs cracked from the impact, but Izuku wasn't done. Saying "Fa Jin 100%, he began a flurry of punches, breaking his body more and more. Each strike was tearing Abaddon's body apart as his bone broke from each strike as he coughs more blood. Izuku didn't relent as he took his strength and 1-inch punch him away. Crashing into multiple buildings before he crashes into a construction site, hitting a pillar as the building fell on him. Getting up slowly, he struggles to stand, feeling his body dying from the damage. But he didn't surrender, grabbing some pillars he throws them with what strength he had left, but they were punched through by Izuku while the other two were grabbed by his black whips. Swinging the pillars, he uses them to smash Abaddon, crushing him. The screams of pain can be heard for blocks as he was then punched into another structure. Izuku didn't relent, letting the rage take over as he went on top of him and started brutally beating his face in before grabbing him and punching him out the sight. Crashing into his fortress, he says his dead allies, the fake heroes that join him but were defeated with ease. The men he had left all gone due to his power-hungry sat. Izuku landing on him, crushing his rib more, made him split up more blood before kicking him into his citadel walls. punching him over and over, indenting him through the wall and pushing him further into the citadel. With one final punch he sends him through the wall, making him land into his own throne chambers. Abaddon crawled towards his chair as best he could, his body shattered, his hearts failing, using his one good hand to try to get there. But a snap was heard as he screams more, seeing Izuku land on it, crushing it. Grabbing his head, he looks into his eyes burning with rage as he began to speak. Izuku, you dare come to my world, to invade my homeland and try to take over, punches his jaw, breaking it. Izuku, you dare try to kill the innocent and turn my allies to one of your chaos beasts, punching his jaw again, watching it fly out of him. Izuku, but the worst of all was that you hurt my little sister, my little sister. Izuku brutally punches his face in over and over as he put more power into the punch. The citadel shook from the increased power. It started to crack as Abaddon weakly tried to block but couldn't. Punching him again, he slams onto the floor as Izuku pick him up by his head. Abaddon, weak, abandoned at this moment, called his god to help him once again, but they didn't answer, they didn't respond, they basically abandoned him. In reality, in the 40K universe, the gods were being attacked on all their sectors, by none other than Tzeentch, as he decided it was time to win the great game. All the sector of the weakened gods were being attacked. The great game was about to end thanks to Tzeentch, as he laughs loudly to his victory. Izuku in his world went close to Abaddon, picking him up by his head as Abaddon weakly tried to resist but could. Looking into Izuku's eyes, he saw his demise, his end, but knowing when he dies, he will return to the warp. Izuku though gave him a grin, knowing what he was thinking. Izuku, you think you will return once you are killed, but no, you won't. Just like the Emperor killed your Gene-father, I will do the same, gripping his head. Izuku, begone, you piece of shit, never emerge again in any time or universe, unleashing his full power into him. His screams can be heard from the entire city, everyone stopping hearing it as the power so was much. The citadel was shattering from the force as it shook from the immense power. Izuku, for the Imperium, for Japan. Izuku dug his hand into what was left in his skull as he unleashes more power. Just like what his father did 10,000 years ago, he destroy Abaddon, his body and soul, so he may never come back. The citadel began to fall all over as Izuku, tired still, got up and ran, seeing an opening on a ledge. Running towards it, he jumps, looking behind him, seeing the citadel crumbling as his tired self tries to get his wings up till the sound of an engine was heard. Seeing a Thunderhawk fly past him, the hatch opens below him as he glides inside before it closes and pulls away. Opening the hatch, he looks, seeing one of his warships enter the airspace, launching a missile that Izuku created. Hitting the remains, it created a mini black hole, sucking the ruble before it disappears, not damaging anything else. Resting on the Thunderhawk, he told the pilot to quickly return to the main base. He needs to check on his sister, as the pilot used full thrusters to get there quickly. On the ground, the cheers of victory were heard. Everyone was celebrating as everyone was hugging for the victory. The news reached around the world as nations celebrated his victory, as the next part began to be collecting of the injured and the lost ones. Thunderhawk finally reached as Izuku tried to rush but fell on his knees from how tired he was, but was picked up by an apothecary to help him walk to his sister. The people in the main base are celebrating the victory, but as Izuku walked by, they saluted him. Entering the medical area, he sees his mother and father standing over a bed. Izuku, mother, father, where Hina is, she okay? Midnight moves to the side as he saw her with too little cast on and a mask to help her breath a little. Apothecary Nathaniel came in, looking at Izuku before looking at Hina. Nathaniel, she is okay, my lord. The blow described by Dessen broke her arms in many places, but we did our best to put the bones back in place and use a healing agent to keep them in place. Nathaniel, her body is a little bruised by the blow, but she is under sedation and will make a full recovery. The Emperor came in hearing what happened and used his power to heal her as well. For now she needs rest. Izuku kneeled down to kiss her forehead, thanking her for being so brave. For her action, it helps him defeat Abaddon. As Nathaniel checks on him, helping him take off his damaged armor, he saw his ribs broken and his body bruised as he lay him down on a gurney to begin his recovery. Few days later, few days have passed since the battle. The corruption was being dealt with by the sister and the Emperor himself. Holy waters the sister dumped from their warships was clearing the corruption, as well as Izuku's special formula for it as well. The fallen were gathered, and it was costly out of the forces that Titus had brought with him in Angron. Almost 3/4 of them were lost in the defense of UA, with the knights and titans of the house of Yagi lost. Furthermore, So many militarum force were lost, near to 500,000 forces were lost in defending and regaining Japan, but to them it was all worth it to know their lord home was safe. Each legion who had sent their men, lost half of their men as each gene seed was collected to be taken back to their homeworld. Tau and Eldari force were the same, half of their forces were lost in the assault, but they knew for the alliance sacrifices were necessary and were personally thanked by the injured Izuku. The emperor came and visited the base, thanking them, each member of the alliance bowing to them, giving them gifts, medals for their fallen, before he announces a national monument for each faction. It will be placed where the emperor palace once stood. The members of the alliance were thankful for the emperor for his gifts and how he plans to honor the fallen. The emperor bows as he walks around the base to check on the injury and help in any way with cleanup efforts. Izuku finally recovered, check on his sister as she saw her awake. He carefully lifts her, saying thank you for what you did, as Hina did her best to hug him but was crying, hearing that her guardian had died fighting to protect her brother. The emperor patted Hina on the head as he told her he had completed his duty to protect you, and he did just that. He was so proud for what she did for her brother. It made her better, but she still tears for him as she went to his grave to lay flowers and thank him for helping her. The Mechanicum has begun the rebuild after clearing the corruption away. The hundreds of thousands of servitors from the prisoners they caught alive got to work quickly to rebuild Japan. World leaders held an emergency meeting inviting their representatives as they asked Izuku to make a world defense force in case a threat of this level ever comes back. Izuku accepted the task as he will talk to his men and the future militarum they were still training. 3 weeks later, 3 weeks have passed. Japan was fully rebuilt. The memorial finish as the bodies were put in special mausoleums with each chapter flag presented, the Allies' flags and the militarum flags all hanging in their honor place. Multiple Shinto priests blesses each mausoleums, thanking the soldiers for the sacrifice that they will be remembered till the end of time, as Izuku salutes the fallen with the citizen of Japan. Back in UA, the school was up and running as students were able to come back and begin their training as heroes, but deep underground in the school the prisoner of the war class 1A was demanding to be let go, that they are the only heroes left in the world. Izuku and Nezu went to visit them but heard screams in one of the rooms as Awase was torturing them to get any info on where any members of the corrupted hero commission were at. Stopping in front of cell, they looked to see Izumi chain up in multiple anti-quirk chains. Izuku. The war has failed as your alliance with the Chaos Forces was not going to stop us. You and the rest of the cowards of the failed hero society have all been defeated. Izumi. No. No, you're lying, it's not over, we will be set free by them, we will kill you and then take over. Nezu. No, P is telling the truth, it's been 3 weeks since the defeat, you and the rest of Class 1A are hereby ordered by the Emperor to be publicly executed. Izumi wide-eye looks at her brother with hateful sinful eyes as she tried to attack him but the heavy chains held her down as she snarls at him. Izumi. No, I shall break free and kill you, I swear, you piece of shit. Me, my mom and my friend will kill you over and over. Izuku. What mother? Izumi. He digs in a bag pulling out Inko head. Izuku. Hear the failure of the mother you speak of, throwing her head into her room. Tried to escape Japan but was caught by some guards and killed on the spot when she attacked. Izumi. No. No, mom. Mom. Izuku. You shall meet her fate like the rest of your class in the execution arena we are making at UA Stadium. By the end of the day none of you shall live. Izuku and Nezu walk away hearing the wails of Izumi, as she thrashes in her cell trying to break free to kill Izuku. The torture sounds of Class 1A as they head towards the elevator. They saw guards take Lady Nagant back to her cell with a wrap-up arm as Awase came out bowing to Izuku. Going up the elevator they exit the and headed towards the arena to check on the progress. Izuku. Uncle, you know you didn't have to do this, we could had taken them to our world. Nezu. Nonsense, my dear nephew, after everything you done, after the sacrifice you made with your forces, this is the least I can do. Izuku. I do thank you for that and making the extra protection for the crowd as Vulcan bringing great salamanders from his planet to kill the traitors. Nezu. I cannot wait to see them, maybe I can ride one, hee. Izuku. I had a feeling you ask, so pulls out an egg, take care of it and it should listen to you. Nezu. Thank you, nephew, I shall treasure him or her for my life, but now I must ask who will deal with them. Izuku. Brother Angron. He will wear his gladiator outfit one last time to execute them, though I told him that he does not need to. Izuku. He told me that it would not bother him as he still wants penance in any way to show for his mistake. Nezu. I see, will they be able to use their quirks? Izuku. No, they will suffer fighting as they should.
Nezu laughed loudly in the background to what was going to happen as Izuku walked away spreading his new wings and flying to his family home. As he digs in his pocket, he remembers the note from the Emperor and though about it ready to give an answer to him when he arrives at his family home. Landing in the backyard he saw his beloved, his kids, his sister Hina, the class and their families and his brothers and father the Emperor.
Arriving via Valkyrie was the Emperor of Japan ready to enjoy a victory barbecue with so much food being cooked. As the Emperor of Japan bowed to everyone and they returned, they began their celebration. With food and drinks going around, each one said a thanks to their men and their sub-legions while also thanking the people of Japan for welcoming them after the war. As Angron was going to speak, he had to dodge a kick and then grab one from someone unexpected as they all saw Mirko saying, "You though you can celebrate without me babe," shocking everyone. Angron. Dumb bunny, I didn't tell them we were dating, it was going to be a surprise. Mariko. Who you are calling a dumb bunny baby? I don't care how tall or strong you are, I will kick your ass. She tries with all her might to escape his grip on her leg but fails and flops her ears saying, "Dear, put me down please," as he does. Everyone was shocked seeing this for two reasons: one, Angron has started dated, and two, it was the number 5 hero Mariko who actually gave up and said please, shocking the heroes there. Russ was laughing loudly as he wasn't the only one dating someone from this universe as Hilda in a cast leans on him chuckling. The Emperor looks at her as she looks at him, not nervous, not scared, but in a fighting mode. With a smirk he accepted her into the family and Hilda after what Eri told him about her. The party continues as they enjoy with the amount of food around. The Emperor walks towards Izuku asking if he may talk to him privately, which they do. As they enter one of the rooms in the home sitting, the Emperor looks at him. Emperor of Japan. So Izuku, have you thought about what the letter said? Izuku. Indeed, sir, I have read the message in the letter. And I would like to ask, are you sure? Is there no other families or heirs for you to have take over? Emperor of Japan. Sadly, no, I have no male heir for the throne and would like someone that the people can trust on it. Emperor of Japan. You can still be a hero to the country while doing your duties as well. The staff knows and they will not stop you. Izuku. If you truly believe that I can do this, my emperor, then I shall accept this post, as he bows to him. Emperor of Japan bows to him back, thanking him for doing this as they went back to enjoy the party. Few days later. A few days have passed since that party. The Emperor made the announcement of what will happen when he passes or decides to retire, with the people of Japan supporting the decision greatly. Heroes were out and about doing their jobs, stopping crime, but with help from the Militarum as they began to work in unity. Schools were up and running as Eri, Koda and Hina were treated like mini-celebrities for their actions in the Great War, and Izuku and Ibara had a small getaway where once again knowing to soundproof a room is the best thing to know. But now the day has come as dignitaries from countries arrives, families who lost members due to the corruption of the false heroes enter the UA arena to witness the public execution. As the first group of fake heroes enter the arena with spears and shield, they threw them down thinking they could use their quirks, but when they felt they couldn't, shock was put on their face as they heard a metal gate open. A large hiss could be heard, large footsteps shook the arena. A large salamander from the planet Nocturne as it looks at the fake heroes and charges at them, grabbing one, biting it, shaking him like a toy as his body is being ripped apart. The crowd cheers for death as the heroes tries to run away from what happening. But the salamander continue its rampage, ripping the fakes apart limb by limb, spitting molten lava on one, burning him alive. Through the day more executions took place as the remaining hero commission with Lady Nagant was next. The gate opened as they prepare themselves, but a big toad came out hopping towards the middle of them. Nezu was confused about this creature till Brother Lion comes into the stands and looks at Izuku. Lionel Johnson. How in the hell did you get one of those? You know they are extremely dangerous, brother. Nezu. What is it, or Lion, if you do not mind me asking? Lionel Johnson. I don't mind at all, it's called a Katachan barking toad. Lionel Johnson. It's a dangerous poisonous toad from our universe, if a horrible way for those fakes to die, but I hope you know what you doing, brother. Izuku nodded as he saw the commission team with Nagant giggling, thinking this is what you plan to kill us with, as one decided to poke it with a staff, but they heard a loud croak as the toad explodes, releasing a gas. The void shield went up as screams were heard. The gas started melting them as they screech and scream in pain before melting into a pile of mass. Lady Nagant was the last as she hit the void shield, telling them to save her, but her body melted right in front of it as the crowd cheer for her death. Izuku opened a webway watching the gas leave thanks to fans as his brother wonder where it went. Izuku told him to an orc planet. Both laugh their ass off to that as he and Nezu began to play chess while Izuku walks to the room Angron in. Knocking on the door, he enters a look at his brother sharpening his blades ready to fight. Izuku. Brother, you know you don't have to wear that outfit of yours to fight or be in this. I'm sure we can get someone else. Angron. No brother, I must. This is not just a penance to you, it's a way to honor the fallen of our legion, a way to give them one last memory of where my legion came and now become. Angron. I will do this because I want to honor my men one last time, to show them I have changed and I still am that leader they once followed before the dark times. Izuku. Very well brother, but just promise me no mercy to them, kill them brutally as possible. Angron agree and finish sharpening his new blade that Izuku gave to him. Izuku carried his new legion banner as respect to him to lead him into the arena. As the announcement was beginning. Present mic. Ladies and gentlemen, it's finally time to watch the execution of Class 1A. The crowd roars in cheers as more people were sitting on their seats. In one of the stands, Endeavor and his wife sit watching with Bakugo mother and father. They were guarded by some Astartes in case anyone tried anything, especially to pregnant Rei. In another section say the parents watching their evil spawn about to get what they deserved. Lastly, some brothers such as Corvus, Conrad and Vulcan came as representatives to watch the execution. Russ was already in the stands with Hilda as they got some food to enjoy the show. Present mic. Now here comes the failures of Japan, the failures of society itself. Class 1A. The gates open for their entrance, chained by their necks, being dragged by Awase into the arena. The crowd throws things at them, hitting them before they were shocked to be on their knees. Awase leaves the arena before unlocking the chain via switch as the class look around, seeing everyone laughing, booing them, wishing for their death. They stare at the crowd, anger flowing as they try to use the spear to throw at them, but when they did it got super heavy, crushing their hand. Present mic. And in this corner we have one of the legendary Primarchs, one that pushed to free our beloved country, WHO earn his redemption in the eyes of our people. Give it up for the Primarch Angron. Izuku walks in first with holding the banner of his brother Legion as in the crowd the people cheer, throwing flowers in his path. Stepping out, it felt different for him. He wasn't fighting as a slave, he was fighting as a warrior to avenge the people. He raises his sword up for the crowd to cheer more as he looks at the class. He points his sword towards the members of his legion that are there today and to the people as a way to show he will honor them and avenge them with the blood of these fake heroes. Izuku stabs his chapter banner on the ground as Angron thanked him before Izuku took flight and flew to a stand with a mic. Izuku. Class 1A, you are ordered to be executed by the Emperor of Japan, the world hero Organization and the Imperium of Man. Do you have any last words before your death? Izumi. You bastard, you kill my mother, you ruin our fame and our fortune, and you and this pathetic excuse of a person will die. And when we escape we will make sure to kill everyone in this arena. Hilda. That is right, you will all go back to your proper place underneath our boot, kissing our feet and begging for mercy before we kill you and enslave you. As he walks up to Angron, looking at him thinking he was going to listen, kicking him in the knee to prove his point. Hilda. I want you bow to your new master, bow and kiss my feet. His voice stops mid-sentence as a gargle sound was made. Turning around, he looks at the class as one step was taken before his body split evenly in half. The crowd went wild seeing the traitor get killed as the class was shocked by what they witnessed as Kirishima, Sato and Shoji charge with a spear in hand as Angron rush forward, crushing Hilda's skill as his step on it before clashing his blade with his spears. As Angron look at them disappointed, he uses his strength and throws them back. In this moment Sato and Shoji try to rush him from the sides as Kirishima ready to charge from the front, but before he got close, he saw them get cut down with ease by this monster. Kirishima stops in his track seeing the death of his friends as he pisses himself from fear. Angron, not giving him the chance to defend himself, stab him right through his stomach to watch him fall on his knees. Then grabbing his leg, he slams him over and over onto the arena, watching the impact break apart his body as his arm came off before the next slam took the other arm, as multiple slams later his head and his body was mush. The video is Jason Voorhees' second fatality from Mortal Kombat, is what he did but longer. 4 members of the class were killing as the others back up the girls, crying tears, wondering if this is really how they were going to die. Shinso tried to escape the arena, trying to climb the wall, but the system in the arena activated and a flamer purged his body from the wall as he screams for his life, melting away. Ojiro looks at Denki as he and him try to get Koda to join, but they didn't even see Angron move till they look and saw Koda's head was pieced through the head as he grabbed both ends, twisting his neck for them to see his face before throwing his body out of the arena into the cage where the salamander was as it ate him. Ojiro and Denki look at each other, charging towards him to get vengeance as Angron toyed with them, dodging their strikes with the spear, using his power to slash their shields away as they went to a frenzy to stab him. Tired of this, he grabs the spears, pulling Denki close, kicking him that his ribs shatter as he went through one of the locked gates of the arena. As he struggles to get up, he hears multiple growls. Turning slow, he 3 giant wolves as they jump on him, ripping him apart. His screams can be heard from the arena as Ojiro's tail was ripped off him and he was being beaten to death by it, his head gone as his brain splatters some of his blood and matter land on Toru, making her throw up. Shiro Todoroki, the only guys left, witnessed their friend's death as they went on their knees, pissing their pants, asking for mercy, begging for their lives. But Angron would have none of it. Grabbing Shiro, he rips his tape elbows off, using the tape to choke Shiro. As Shiro struggles to breathe, he lifts him up and snaps his back before folding him like paper, throwing his body in front of Todoroki. Todoroki tried to crawl to the girls, but his leg was as the girls grab him arms, trying to pull him back, but the strength of the Primarch pull his body so hard that it rips in half and his guts fell all over the arena. The crowd was cheering as they were dying one by one. The people who lost family in the war was the happiest, cheering and screaming Angron name. Angron. These PATHETHIC hero were no match for me. Now to end this COMPLETLY and finish the sluts of the class. The girls look at him, scared for their lives as Suyu tried to use her tongue on him to hold him, but Angron looked at it and did something horrific to the girls that were watching. He uses his strength and pulls so hard the inside of her body came out as her heart was still pumping. He steps on it, crushing it with his boot. Jiro screams from the blood splatter on her face till she was grabbed by her jacks and had them wrap around her neck. Momo tried to intervene but smack away by Angron using Jiro body as he slams her body over and over as the last slam broke her head from her body as he held it, screaming towards the crowd. The crowd cheer once more for another traitor death as Izuku watching, seeing the prowess of his brother and how brutal he was as he smirks, enjoying it with his family. Momo saw her best friend gone before Angron threw her head with so much force it went through Momo's stomach and rib cage before splatter behind her on the wall. As Momo look at the hole in her stomach, falling dead on the spot. Izumi, Toru, Katsumi, Shota and Mina were left as they look at the blood cover Angron preparing his sword for another strike. Toru tried to run away but was spear through her head. Her brain at the end landed on the floor as her body slid down slowly on the spear. Mina screams, seeing her friend death as she charges in desperation towards him as he blocks her attack with ease. Each strike weakens her till grab the spear by his hand, letting it cut him. Grabbing her head, he rips one of her horns off and began to stab her multiple times over before seeing what life is left in her eyes, slashing her neck open with her own horn, dropping her. Izumi seeing her friends killed off as they were as she looks at Izuku in the stands, screaming her lungs. Izumi. No, this is not supposed to happen. We are the real heroes. We are supposed to be WORTHISP. None of this should be happening. Just then she heard screaming as struggle as Angron had both Sakura Katsumi were being crushed by him as they were bleeding from their eyes and mouth as they tried to scratch him, punch out of his grip, but it didn't matter. The arena heard 2 loud snaps as blood spill from their eyes and mouth as he drops their body with no respect, looking at Izumi. Alone left to fight by herself, she screams at the top of her lunge forward towards him, but he deflects the spear with ease, grabbing her and slamming her on her stomach. He steps on her back, grabbing her arms, pulling them hard. She screams, kicking the ground, wanting it to end as Angron look at Izuku, getting his approval of her pain, her suffering. Pulling harder, he rips her arms off completely, holding them like trophies before throwing them away as he took out his sword, looking at Izuku for the finale strike. The crowd screaming kill her over and over as Angron takes a might swing and slashes her head clean off. Grabbing a spear on the ground, he stabs it on its holding to and walking around the arena with it. Izuku left the arena after knowing vengeance had been served. The day belonged to his brother as he was happy that he was getting the love and praise he deserves. Arriving back at UA, students are training. Militarum are heading to their patrol sectors as his class was training harder. They stop and salute him as he returns before returning home to see his beloved there and his kids there waiting in the living room. As Koda and Eri look at each other giggling, Izuku saw Abara looking nervous as he wonders what was wrong, until she took out a box. Abara. Open it, my love you. Izuku. Open it, seeing it was a pregnancy test showing it was a positive result. As he looks at her smiling with tears as the kids cheer for being a big brother and sister. Izuku, full of happiness, lifts and spins her, carefully kissing her, happy to know he was going to be a father, as he rushes to tell everyone the news. Their parents were happy and ecstatic for the news, meaning the wedding will have to come soon. As for the Emperor of Mankind, when he found out another grandchild on the way, the Imperium roar in celebration for Izuku, as when they found out about the wedding, the Emperor asked to host it and handle it with the help of the mothers, as they agree. For Izuku, he never thought that he would be in this situation, a warrior of present and future, a hero of Japan, and now a father once more, as he hugs his family, as he thought what would happen in the future for himself and his family. Izuku log M21.2xxx 20 years have passed since the Great War of Japan, and a lot has changed for the better. For most, it was the new waves of heroes. They were better than the group before then, training as heroes, but also Militarum. The brutal training of both took out the ones that just wanted fame and fortune from those that wanted to be real heroes. The school prestige level was very high as Izuku, and his class has graduated, bringing an amazing reputation to it, as more students than ever wanted to be part of it. For his friends, their journey also took them to different parts of Japan, as Bakugo and Kendo moved to the east part near Osaka to defend that area and make sure the new sister and Militarum were up to their necks in training. Further to the east, Tokiyami and Kanoko settled their agency and sisterhood. The people there loved them, as their presence made sure the villains were kept in place. As I walk towards the gardens of the palace where the reunion of our friends is beginning, I stop to look at the hall of portraits that have been placed. As I stop, I look at one of them that is at the entrance of the palace, the portrait of me and my beloved wedding, as I remember it like it was yesterday. Flashback. The Golden Palace on Terra was busy with people working together, security running drills and servitors setting up seats and the decorations for the grand wedding. As the day was getting closer, both Izuku and Abara were nervous but happy that it was finally happening. When the day arrives, everyone from the Emperor of Japan, the World Hero Commissioner, and our allies from this universe. The Tao and Elder were delighted to see a human wedding, as even Trazen show up to film this for his collection. World leaders that had worked with Izuku were also in the audience, as the new unit defense program was a masterpiece of work, as almost all countries had joined, and the recruits were mostly quirkless. But now he has to think about what was about to happen as he stands there at the altar looking amazing in his suit. As the music started, he saw the guards opening the door as his men of honor and their bridesmaids began walking in. His brother Bakugo with his new fiancée Itsuka, Tokiyami and his fiancée Kanoko, and Angron with Mariko all taking their place on their side of the podium. His other brothers and family all sat in the front behind them on an elevated platform and sat the guests so they could view. In multiple worlds it was being shown on screens, as everyone was interested in this proud event. As the guards opened the door again, they stood at attention and saluted the kids. The ring boy, his son Kota, began walking in his mini commissar outfit. Basically, like this no gas mask, as it's a wedding. And right behind him daughter Eri, the flowers girl, with his little sister Hina throwing flowers all over the aisle as they make their way to the altar. They stood together bowing to their brother and father in respect before going to stand on the side. As music started, the guards all raised banners of each legion in the order of the Bloody Rose Sisterhood banner. The door opening slowly, they saw Abara there being led down by her father as roses started to fall from the roof, falling slowly into the church as everyone stood to watch her walk down slowly, the song playing in the room making it perfect for her. As he saw her, he knew she was the most beautiful person in the room, his perfect bride, and he swore on his life for as long he lives he will never let her go and bring her happiness. Abara's reaction seeing him at the altar was she was stunned by how handsome, how perfect he looks, as she couldn't keep her eyes off him. In her head, she knew she found the perfect person, and it all began all those years ago in the playground when he protected her. Reaching the altar, her father gave her to him in hand, asking him to please protect her for all their lives, as Izuku vow on his legion that he would protect her till his last breath, as his legion watching all kneel saying, "We will die for her." Hand in hand at the altar they look at the person who was going to be their priest. The God Emperor himself holds one of the Bibles he saves from the last church he had destroyed but kept it as a relic as he look at them both smiling. Emperor of Mankind, please be seated. Seeing the crowd sit. Forgive me everyone, as it been over 10,000 years since a traditional wedding has happened. I was glad to have records of how it went.
As the crowd understood and Abara understood as Izuku had informed her on the history of how the Imperium was made, she wasn't upset as she knew her father-in-law had to do it to unite the people but was glad he saves the Bible for this occasion. Emperor of Mankind. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here in unity under the great palace of the Imperium to unite these two in holy matrimony. Emperor of Mankind. As we thank all those who helped set this ceremony, I ask who give this woman to be married to this man. Abara parents stood up as her father said, "We do your emperor," as they bow to him before sitting down. The emperor bowed to them back, continue the ceremony reading a passage from the book as everyone listen. The emperor gets to the important part as he said both had written vows for each other and would like to read them. Abara said she would like to start first as Izuku nodded to her. Abara. Izuku, the day you saved me at the park was the day I knew our friendship would start, as each day through all the struggles your old family gave you, you stood strong and kept your head high. Abara. The day you had went into the portal was the worst day in my life as I lost the one person that I wanted to help and save. For 10 years I searched for you, hope for new and never gave up hope, and when your father gave me that letter I knew my life was going to be amazing the day you came back. Abara. Now with this day finally here and with a child on the way, I cannot wait to be called your wife and be with you in this life and the next. I swear on my life and on Celestine the First will cherish this till our end. Multiple people in the audience were tearing from the heartful vows as Izuku was holding back his tears as well as he looked at her ready to speak. Izuku. Abara, the day we met at the park and I saw you in trouble, I knew I had to be your hero that day. From there it became an amazing friendship where you helped me even after what those traitors did to me. Izuku. The day I went through the portal was the hardest day of my life. Besides being in a different universe, I was away from you and I had hoped my gift got to you before that happened.
Izuku. When I was given the chance to be a hero in this universe, I took that shot and it led me on an amazing journey to being a leader, a warrior and a savior. But I wasn't only doing it for them, those 10,000 I trained battle fought, so when I found a way back I can protect you. Izuku. After all the time here, you never left my mind, heart or soul, as the day when I returned save our class in the minute I saw you I never fell more in love or happier in my life. Our first date when we took in Eri and Kota showed me that I would marry the most perfect women in my life. As they saw Izuku kneel, his sons of the Legion was kneeling as well to honor what he will say. Izuku. I vow on my Legion, my life, my heart and soul will protect you, our family and our child to the last breath, this I swear. He Legion screamed, they will die for her, they will die for his family, as they bow their heads as Abara looked at him with happy tears in her eyes. Members of the audience had tears coming out as his father hugged Midnight close, being proud of their son. Even the Emperor of Mankind had a tear coming down his eye as he quickly wiped it away before continuing. Emperor of Mankind. Do you, Izuku, take Abara as your lovely wife, to be with her through good and bad times, through sickness and in health for all your lives? Izuku. I do, Emperor of Mankind. Abara, do you take Izuku to be your lovely husband, to be with him through good and bad times, through sickness and in health for all your lives? Abara. I do, Emperor of Mankind. Would the ring bearer please bring up the rings? As Kota brow up the rings, they place them on each other's fingers, looking deeply into each other's eyes. Emperor of Mankind. By the power vested in me I now pronounce you husband and wife, you may kiss your bride. As Izuku kiss Abara deeply, having the audience cheering and clapping, while all over the Imperium the people cheer for their Primarch wedding ceremony. Before Izuku and Abara left the room, they thank everyone for coming and hug their families. Leaving the palace ground, they were greeted to thousands of people cheering for them before entering a webway to return to their universe, with everyone joining for the reception. Enjoying the beautiful ground of the Emperor new palace since he offers it for this occasion, people and Primarch were enjoying their time. Party members enjoy the food and beautiful scenery, especially with the cherry blossom coming in as Izuku and Abara watch, smiling and leaning on each other. Izuku chuckled watching Katsuki dance, swooning at Suka as Tokiyami did the same due to the fact they secretly took dancing classes to get better. The class of 1B had a table nearest to the couple as they enjoy their time as a new couple was born when Pony built the courage to kiss Sen as well as he kisses her back, making everyone at the table cheer. Moment later, Yui went to Awase asking him out on a date as he agreed as Reiko just jump on Shihai, kissing him, shocking him as he was happy. Seeing his friends happy, he looks at Abara, nodding to her that it's time to dance. Everyone saw them get up as they all left the dance floor, gathering around it to watch them do their first dance. but Abara making a funny face as this was Eri and Hina Q to run around her spinning her to take the bottom part off the dress to make it look like a T-length dress as some of their classmates got up and headed to instruments that were set up. Bakugo got on the drums, Reiko got on the piano, Pony got on lead guitar as Tokiyami set up his bass with the rest of the class sitting near the stage starting to clap their hands. The song they are about to sing and dance to, Izuku. Oh, I hope you know, I will carry you home. Whether it's tonight or 55 years down the road. Abara. Oh, I know there's so many ways that this could go. Don't want you to wonder, darling, I need you to know. Izuku. We were talking to the sunset, throwing dreams against the wall, ah. I know none of them have stuck yet, but I bet it on you, honey. Oh, I would risk it all, Abara. These days, these nights are changing. Mama, my mind is set on you, I'm not afraid to say it. To say it's true, Izuku, Abara. Oh, I hope you know, I will carry you home. Whether it's tonight or 55 years down the road. Oh, I know there's so many ways that this could go. Don't want you to wonder, darling, I need you to know. In this and every life I choose us every time band, crowd. Oh oh oh, oh oh oh. Oh oh oh, oh oh, oh oh, oh. Izuku and Abara start dancing together, having fun in the center, making everyone in the crowd clap to the rhythm of the song as some couples started doing their own dance on the side. Abara. We were California dreaming our whole life fit in that car, ah. Didn't have a bed to sleep in, we kept each other warm under a ceiling full of stars. Izuku. These days, these nights are changing, mama, my mind is set on you. I'm not afraid to say it, to say I do, Izuku, Abara. Oh, I hope you know, I will carry you home. Whether it's tonight or 55 years down the road. Oh, I know there's so many ways that this could go. Don't want you to wonder, darling, I need you to know. In this and every life I choose us every time band, crowd. Oh oh oh, oh oh oh. Oh oh oh, oh oh, oh oh, oh oh. As more people join them in the dance floor, the couples dance their hearts away, with some moving around the couple and their kids and Hina joining in to dance, as well as Izuku and Abara hug each other, putting their forehead togethers. Izuku. Abara. Oh, I hope you know, I will carry you home. Whether it's tonight or 55 years down the road. Everyone cheers for the beautiful song as the couple kiss each other as Izuku scream, let's keep partying. The beautiful daughter-father dance and mother-son dance was beautiful, while the funniest thing happens when Abara threw the bouquet. The girls already were told no quirk usage at all, which made them sulk, but still did it as it was thrown and landed. They saw Mariko holding it as she looked at Angron. Angron didn't know what to do and it made everyone chuckle, but the pictures from the photographer was perfect. Each shot showed the happiness of the guest, and as the last picture had me standing with Abara sitting as our kids were next to us and our families behind us. Flashback end. Izuku logs continue. That day was beautiful, perfect in all aspect, as continue his walk to looking at all the pictures in the hall, seeing the pictures of their twins Lily and Shin being born to the world, to a picture of Eri and Koda graduation picture from the Shola Progenium. I never been prouder of them, and now they are leading armies on their own. The last picture I saw before entering the garden area was his sister Hina given the #1 Hero in America award by her favorite hero, his aunt Star and Stripes, who retired. These pictures show how much our family has become in unity and how much it will continue to grow. Hopefully one day Koda and Eri will give me my first set of grandkids. Chuckling to himself. End log. Opening the door, he sees the beautiful palace gardens as Abara and the twins are finishing setting for the party. As she turns to look at him, the twins ran to their father, hugging him. Lily. Hello father, how are you today? I hope you're ready to see everyone again. Can't wait to see my uncles and aunts. Shin. Yay old man, how you are feeling? It been years since you seen them, huh? Izuku. Indeed, you too, and I'm not that old young man, I'm still young even at over 10,000 years old. As the twins chuckle before hugging their dad as he hugs them back before looking at his beautiful wife. Abara, after twins, has a beautiful glow, the hair, the body, the shape, he still sees her as the beautiful queen he married. Abara. Dear, you're staring really hard, blushing a little. Izuku. Apologize my beloved, it just you're still so young and beautiful after all these years, as he hugs her. Abara still blushes from the simplest things that he does, as she know his love for her has never faltered. As they kiss near the roses their children go, you as both look at them and said. Izuku. Abara.
Don't think we don't know you do this with the Todoroki twins as well. Both of their kids blush hard saying Mom Dad, making them all laugh as a webway opened behind them. Stepping through, the twins were ecstatic as the people that inspire them the most to begin their training to commissar. Eri. Hello father, it's good to be back home for a bit. Sorry that I'm in uniform. Armageddon was being attacked again, but we push back Gozgakul again as he still sees me as his rival now since Uncle Yarrick pass. Kota. Indeed, father, it is good to see you. Apologize for me wearing my uniform as well. We just finished destroying another hive fleet and we were organizing the new defenses. Taking off his mask, Abara didn't mind as she hugs her older kids, missing them and glad they were here to visit as the twins hug them tightly, missing them and asking them for advice for their training. Izuku chuckle, picking them up, hugging them not too tightly. Izuku. It's good to see you both doing well and committing to your roles so well. The others will be here soon. Go on, freshen up inside, okay? An hour passed as they were dressed normally again after so long talking to their mother about everything. During that time his father and mother arrive, hugging their grandkids tightly. Abara said, please join us for some tea before we have to keep finishing the event. As they do, Izuku finish helping to set what needed to be. Hours passed as the kids were being them, and then portals open. Stepping through, their other grandpa and uncles arrived. The twins rushed to the emperor trying to tackle him down, but he caught them, hugging them gently while Eri and Kota saluted before hugging him as well. Emperor of mankind. It's good to see you all. You kids have grown fine and mighty. I miss when you were small. Sanguinius. Indeed, I miss those days when little Eri asked me to fly her around, though she a commissar now and doesn't ask fake tears. Eri. Come on uncle, I'm supposed to be a tough commissar for my troops, don't try to guilt me as she hugs him. Gilliman. Come now brother, it's time for celebration, not fake sadness. By the way Commissar Kota, excellent job with the defense, your logistic and planning was perfect. Kota. Thank you uncle, I'm just doing what each of you taught me and keeping the people safe. As the other brothers continued to talk to Izuku and Abara, seeing how they were doing, the emperor was looking up smiling, seeing who was coming. Izuku, sensing something, summoned his sword as the being swung a halberd, both clashing, creating a rift in the middle. As they both stopped, they began to laugh as all they heard was one word. Hina. Oni-chan. As he hugs her brother. I'm finally home to visit mom and dad and spend time with y'all. Izuku. Hello little sister, it's good to see you again. Congratulations by the way for becoming the #1 hero in us. Aunt Kathleen must have been proud. Hina. She is actually here, she comes. As they say her land, saying hello to everyone as she walks up to Lionel Johnson saying hello honey, how you been, making him blush as they chuckle at his face. Hearing the doors open again, they saw more people arrived, the former class of 1B, now top hero in Japan and other countries. Awase has grown to be a fine chaplain at UA, making sure they students there were trained hard and never lost faith, as Jirato was also there pushing them to the limits, breaking their body and soul, but they have become a fine class. Sen and Pony, still together after all these years, finally had two little ones, both looking curious till they spotted the man their parents talk about. Izuku kneeled to meet them, giving them head pats as they were happy before running around. Yui was with the crowd, going to Awase to hug him and kiss him before passing him their first kid, a beautiful girl. Shihai and Reiko, 3 boys, ran to the other kids ready to play with them as Reiko looked at her swollen belly, showing she was pregnant once again, while some of the other guys were there all happy coming to see their leader. Shota sadly couldn't make it due to the Raptors being called to defend a world from an orc invasion, with Setsuna and the battle sister there defending it with Imperial forces. A Valkyrie landed on the palace grounds as Bakugo steps out with Itsuka as 2 teen and 2 small ones came out, all 4 of their kids present for the event, as they all went to hug Izuku before seeing Vulcan and try to tackle him, but he laughs and caught them all. Stepping out next was Tokiyami and Kinko with 2 teen daughters and a newborn son named after the person that trained him. They went to hug Izuku before hugging Corvus as he checks on them, seeing how their training was. Seeing his family almost all together, there was 2 people missing. As they heard the door open, Angron and Russ walk in. Russ howl, seeing everyone as his 2 sons and daughter bow to everyone before going to hug their grandpa. Angron with his wife Miriko came in with their 5 kids from teen to newborn. They were happy to see everyone as they bunny kids started to run around saying hi to everyone. Izuku, seeing his family all here, said let the celebration begin. Aizawa and Lady Nadia came a little later, making sure their patrol routes were set and had to pick up their daughter from school. As the gathering was successful, everyone was having a good time enjoying themselves as his fathers came to him. All night. Well son, you done this country proud, made it better for heroes and civilians. Emperor of mankind. Indeed my boy, you made this world into a stronger version of Terra itself. Izuku. It is thanks to you both, father, heroic spirit being born into me, and you emperor for giving me a chance. Izuku. Without the both of you I don't know where life would had taken me. Kneels before then, I could never thank you both enough. As the emperor reached down to touch his shoulder, he helped lift him back up, looking at him. Emperor of mankind. My boy, you did this on your own. You arrived in my time, took the risk of becoming something far greater than anyone could ever become. Emperor of mankind. You train hard every day, lead your forces, not battle, defended the Imperial in my absence, and form alliance I thought I never see. Emperor of mankind. You turn the Imperium to what it is today, and no one is more thankful than I am. All night. And when you come back to our world, you vow to never change. You show quirkless meant nothing was wrong. All night. You defended, inspire others, and defeated multiple threats that could had change everything. Izuku, hearing both of his father give him praise, had small tears forming, but stop it, thanking both of them for their words as his family all hug him. Izuku look at the gather, knowing the fruits of his labor improve everyone lives, seeing how it change improve them as he raise his glasses for a toast before his vox went off. Looking at it, he saw that reinforcement were being called to the world where Shota was. As he looked at his fathers, they nodded, both saying, Emperor, all might. We will watch all the kids, don't worry, go fight. As the class and Primarchs heard the call, the Emperor uses his powers, putting the class in their armor as the younger kids wave by to them before they enter a portal created by the Emperor. As Shota and Setsuna met up holding one of the last city from the Waj drop pods appear in the sky, landing on the orcs before hundreds of them were killed. The Deathwatch has come to support as they line up outside the city, firing on the massive orc wave, pushing them back. As more pods drop from the skies, landing the multiple chapters of the brother, the portal open as each stood by their sons, with Izuku stepping out last. Looking at the enemy, he see his brothers ready, his classmates ready, his children ready, with Eri and Kota revering their chainswords. Looking at his wife, she takes out her flamer, looking at him nodding as he takes out his halberd, pointing it forward. Izuku. For the Emperor. Charge. As they charge, Izuku knew this life would never end, and he never wanted to, as he knew one thing, that his family would be with him, and war never changes. The end. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Now we will see you in the next video.